Testing. 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 Testing.
The video.
Testing. They know that you paid it for. They know. That's the mayor right there. Okay, that's the Commissioner Mike. That's the mayor right there. Stop.
Good evening, everybody. We're about ready to start. What an average looking commission meeting we have here tonight, huh? What a great looking, good looking crowd. I appreciate you all coming out here tonight. So moms and dads, have your cameras ready. It's going to be a special night that we have tonight. We have a very big and varied agenda this evening. So we're going to break it up in a couple of ways tonight. So first of all, we're going to take items 1 through 7. So if you have your agenda either online, on your phones you're looking at, or the paper ones to the side, we're going to do items 1 through 7 first. So we're going to introduce the item, and I'm going to apologize in advance. There's a lot of names tonight, some which I have not seen before, so I'm going to do my best to pronounce everyone's name correctly tonight. If I'm wrong, it's not intentional, so I apologize in advance. We have a lot of different names. So for the first 7 items, we're going to introduce the item, and the clerk to my right, wave, Madam Clerk, the brown shirt right there, for those that have not been here before, she has your certificates and proclamations. So after I'm done introducing you and you come down, Madam Clerk will have your proclamation or certificate, and you're more than welcome to speak at the podium microphone that's right in front of me. When you're done, please return to your seat and we'll go through all 7 that way. When we're done with item number 7, then anyone who has a proclamation that wants to take a picture, the entire dais will take a short break. The entire dais will come off of the podium here. We'll come down over here to the right to this little alcove, and we'll take all the pictures with you and your certificates and your teachers and your parents that you want. That it's also a good opportunity for those that don't want to stay for the business portion of the meeting. It's a good opportunity for you to, at that point, you can leave. We'll take about a 5 to 10 minute break, and then we'll start up with the business portion of the meeting. We'll go through the business portion of the meeting through public comment, and then we will take another 2 to 3 minute short break. Anyone at that point that would like to leave or use the facilities may do so. And then we'll conclude the meeting because it's a long agenda tonight. So I do want to put in a couple breaks to give those the opportunity that need to use the facilities or want to leave to do so without interrupting the meeting. So everyone understand that? All right, excellent. We're going to have fun tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Please make sure your phones are on silent. There's a lot of phones here tonight. I don't know about you, but I got 2 Amber Alerts right before I came in here. So thank goodness that happened outside the meeting. And then in the meeting, we'd have a lot of noise going on here this evening. So with that, Madam Clerk, would you please call the meeting to order?
Commissioner Hudak.
Here.
Commissioner Plout.
Here.
Commissioner Shinetsky.
Here.
Vice Mayor Preston.
Here.
Mayor Drosky.
Here. Next, we're going to have the moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. So if you would all please stand, we'll have a moment of silence and then do the pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Hudak, when I signal you, do you mind doing it this evening? Thank you, sir.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
For all those wondering, the fire guys standing in the back think we have a code violation tonight, so see them on their phones, yes. We have approval of the city commission meeting minutes from March 25th, 2025.
Motion to approve. Seconded.
Motion by Commissioner Plout, seconded by Commissioner Shanetsky. All in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Let the record show unanimous consent. This is the boring part of the meeting, folks, but we got to get through it. Acknowledgement of city board minutes, the Community Redevelopment Agency meeting minutes from February 11, 2025. The Code Compliance meeting minutes from February 28, 2025. The Education Advisory Board meeting minutes from March 5th, 2025. The Planning and Zoning Board meeting minutes from March 6, 2025. The African American Heritage Board meeting minutes from March 13th, 2025. And lastly, the Community Appearance Board meeting minutes from March 13, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Hudak, seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? None. The record show unanimous consent. Voting's for the dais only, so I heard some went out there. Though we appreciate the comment and the input. Next, we have approval of tonight's agenda for April 22nd, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved this time by Vice Mayor Preston, seconded by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None. Again, let the record show unanimous consent. Okay, Madam Clerk?
For those attending via Zoom online wishing to speak under public comment on an item that's open for public input, please click raise hand at the bottom under the reactions tab, and your audio will be unmuted when you're recognized by Mayor Drosky. For those attending via Zoom by telephone, please press *9 to raise your hand, and your audio will be unmuted when you are recognized by Mayor Drosky. Please make sure your audio is unmuted on your end by pressing *6. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go into number one tonight. It seems like it's a little warm. Everyone try not to breathe so we can keep it cool in here, okay? Item number one, presentation of the High School Scholarship Award. So we have two recipients tonight. Are they both here? Is Jessica Kettlehut here? Raise your hand. I heard here, way over here on the side. Okay, in the yellow dress. And second, Madeline Edwards. In the back in the green. Oh, my favorite color. Very good. Thank you. So Jessica, to my left against the wall in the yellow, is a City of Deerfield Beach resident who attends Pompano Beach High School. Ms. Kettlehut has an unweighted 3.8 GPA.
Wow.
Let's see how red she turns before this is over, okay? Ms. Kettlehut is am I saying that correct? Is very active in her school and community. To date, she has over 500 volunteer hours. She is the vice president of her senior class, a National Honor Society recording secretary, Senior Leadership Achievement Award recipient, Interact Club treasurer, PTSA student liaison, and a part of the student government. When do you have time to study? Ms. Kettlehut wants to be a civil engineer and has committed to the University of Central Florida. Kettlehut is the winner of the City of Deerfield Beach Education Advisory Board High School Scholarship in the amount of $2,000. The City of Deerfield Beach would like to say congratulations to Ms. Jessica Kettlehut and good luck with your continued success in education. Like to come down. This is the part where, remember, over here to my right, pick up your certificate. There you go. And now we put you on the spot. Would you like to say anything? It's not mandatory. If you do, you only have to do it in the middle from the microphones so everybody can hear you.
This side? Yeah, okay.
Right there, yes.
Okay,
3 minutes, Madam Clerk.
funny. You're so
Inside joke for those of you that attend meetings frequently.
funny. I would just like to say thank you so much for this opportunity, and this means so much for me and my family, and I'm so excited. I will do the best I can to make you guys proud.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Over here.
If you just want to stay, if everyone wants to stay over here to the right, it may be easier, but it's up to you. There's a lot of people here tonight. Next, Madeline Edwards, get ready to come on down, but not quite yet. Madeline Edwards is also a City of Deerfield Beach resident who attends Deerfield Beach High School. Oh, and I am remiss. Let me stop for a second, folks. We do have several of the principals here tonight from the elementary school. Drew Gerlach, raise your hand. Where are you, Drew? Oh, way in the back, straight back from me. From the middle school, Dr. Latori Fulton. Very modest, as I can see. And from the high school, Dr. John Marlowe. The tallest guy in the room, and he gives the smallest handshake. Come on. Okay, back to you, Madeline. She, again, is a City of Deerfield Beach resident who attends Deerfield Beach High School. Miss Edwards has an unweighted 3.8 GPA. Like 10.2 weighted or something? How does that work? 5.24, she said. When I was in school, you couldn't get over a 4.0. Now they're getting 5s and 6s. Miss Edwards is very active in her school and community. She's a member of the Key Club, Japan Club, the Mu Alpha Theta Math Club. She volunteers with Kiwanis of Deerfield Beach, the Women's Club, and the Butler House. Miss Edward wants to study veterinary science and hasn't decided on which college she wants to attend, as she is contemplating either the University of Central Florida or the University of Florida. All right, don't get too excited, City Manager. Miss Edwards is the second place winner of the City of Deerfield Beach Education Advisory Board High School Scholarship. And she will be receiving $1,500. Likewise, Miss Edwards, the City of Deerfield Beach says congratulations to you, wishes you good luck. Please come forward, accept your certificate to the right. And likewise, you have the opportunity, if you'd like to say something in the middle. It's not mandatory.
Mandatory when you win money at this point.
Okay.
I wanted to thank you again, or as she said, for the opportunity of $1,500. And FYI, I did commit to the University of Florida. That was a decision after I specified that. I definitely am going to use this money wisely, whether it's housing or tuition or whatever it may be. And definitely will try to make you guys proud.
Thank you. Wow. We want to see receipts, Miss Edwards. There's also two other principals in the house. I was remiss. Denise Lawrence from Tedder Elementary. Raise your hand. The back. And Miss Stevens from Deerfield Park Elementary. Okay. It's not a popularity contest, but okay, I think you're gonna help me along, Madam Clerk. That's it for number one, correct? Okay, congratulations. Number two, presentation of the Centennial Poster Contest Award winners. The City of Deerfield Beach Education Advisory Board held the 2025 Centennial Poster Contest in honor of our city, celebrating 100 years of community. This is our 100-year anniversary, the City of Deerfield Beach, by the way. Deerfield Beach students were invited with the encouragement of their art teachers to showcase their creativity, originality, and artistic talents as the city celebrates a century of history, community, and progress in the city of Deerfield Beach. The Education Advisory Board selected one first place, second place, and third place winner from the 5th grade and middle school categories. The art will be used for promotional purposes reflecting this year's Centennial celebration. The finalist artwork will be displayed at Centennial events to include the city's website, social media, and other marketing platforms like our YouTube channel. The City of Deerfield Beach is excited to celebrate and honor the winners of the Celebrating 100 Years of Community poster contest this evening. Now, I therefore, Todd Drosky, Mayor of the City of Deerfield Beach, would like to thank everyone on behalf of the entire City Commission who participated in the poster contest, and a special thank you to the first, second, and third place recipients. We have the posters or anyone here tonight? Oh, on the wall, over to my right up there on the wall. Madam Clerk, who's accepting that proclamation this evening? Are they here? Madam Clerk, do you mind reading the names? You have them.
Give me. Mess them up.
This is how I get out of pronouncing the names.
Thea Alagia. Nicole Matias. Kylie Hicks. Kathleen De Jesus. Juliet Henriquez. And Aliani Montiel.
Okay. Any of them want to say anything to us? I see a lot of shaking heads over there. Okay, we'll move to number 3 then. Proclamation of the 2024-2025 Teacher of the Year and School-Related Employee of the Year. Now, I believe we have 16, Madam Clerk? 16. So bear with me. Stephanie Brown, Quiet Waters Elementary. Are you here? Wave. Are you here, Stephanie? Wave your hand. Coming down. Playing Richard Dreyfuss. Stephanie Brown, Quiet Waters Elementary, has been working in the Broward County schools for 6 years at Quiet Waters. She's an outstanding kindergarten teacher. Patricia Caceres, Quiet Waters Elementary. Is this Patricia coming down the aisle or someone that? Wave your hands, folks, so we know that you're here and you're just not ducking out to use the restroom. Patricia has been working in Broward County schools for 10 years, 3 at Quiet Waters. She works as a teacher assistant in our autistic cluster program and is a passionate, patient, flexible, and dependable, and performs her duties to the highest quality. Thank you, Patricia. Amanda Heiken from Park Ridge. Was I at least remotely close on the last name? I got the thumbs up. I may not be, but she gave it to me anyway. Amanda passionately serves as our K-5 math coach, which is one of many critical roles at the school. She is an aspiring leader who cares deeply about the achievements and overall well-being of scholars and the school. So thank you, Amanda. Evelyn Garcia, Park Ridge. Come on, way proud, folks. This is your night. Evelyn is a respected figure within the Deerfield Beach community. Miss Garcia takes pride in being a Park Ridge Dolphin and does everything she can to support various people throughout the school. As a bilingual paraprofessional, she has formed excellent relationships with all stakeholders. Thank you, Evelyn. Pat Wilson, Deerfield Beach High School. She didn't wait, but she's coming down in the red, so. Pat is an incredible asset to the school community with experience as an ESSER coach, literacy coach, and now serving as the testing coordinator. Pat consistently goes above and beyond to support both students and staff. Her hard work, positivity, and dedication make her truly irreplaceable. Pat. Sharon Rodriguez, Deerfield Beach High School. Did you all intentionally sit on opposite sides from each other? Sharon goes above and beyond in every task to ensure daily operations run smoothly. One of her most impactful contributions is her dedication to maintaining the Deerfield Beach High School Beach House, where she works tirelessly to secure donations of food, clothing, and hygiene products to support students in need. Thank you, Sharon. Sarah Pierre, Deerfield Beach Elementary. Almost had baby in tow there. Sarah supports new teachers with teaching and behavior management strategies. She has participated in district leadership learning by training teachers how to use tech communicative devices and providing speech services to students. She is a consummate professional and the embodiment of what it means to be a Deerfield Beach Elementary School teacher. Thank you, Sarah. Angela Montoya. Halfway, but we can see you. Angela makes every day bright, as you can tell by the dress that she has on today. As the media clerk, she is the caretaker of the media center, ensuring all our materials are organized, neat, and most importantly, getting books into students' hands. Ms. Montoya's impact reaches both far and wide. Thank you, Angela. Next, we have Ruth Bean. Is she here this evening? Deerfield Park Elementary? Not here? She is not here, I am told, but she's only the 2025 Teacher of the Year. She has been a beloved and dedicated member of the school family at Deerfield Park Elementary for over 22 years. Ms. Bean began her journey at Deerfield Park in 2003 as a paraprofessional. Over the past 19 years, she has taught with passion and purpose, spending 16 years in kindergarten and 3 years in first grade. It is an honor to celebrate her accomplishments and her invaluable contributions to the Deerfield Park community. Her impact will be felt for generations to come. And we make sure the principal gets her certificate. So the non-instructional support personnel of the year goes to, kind of feel like this is the Oscars, Deerfield Park Elementary, Desmond Giles. I think we're gonna need a recount on that one. Desmond serves as a classroom assistant since 2017. Demond? Okay, all right. Thank you for, you should correct me. I told you I'm not gonna get them all right. Demond, yes. Has served since an assistant since 2017. Mr. Giles has been an invaluable asset to the community. A proud alumnus of Deerfield Park, he serves as the site coordinator for the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence, assistant band director, and co-safety patrol sponsor. Known for his love of photography, football, basketball. You're missing some good games tonight, by the way, by being here. Music and food. Mr. Giles is admired by scholars and staff alike for his helpfulness and dedication to the Deerfield Park family. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have Miriam Tercios. Am I right? This is City Commission, not prom tonight. It doesn't say, what is her, it doesn't say the award on my paper, I'm sorry. School-related employee of the year. As an instructional leader, she demands that her students give 100%. She sets high expectations and guides her students to take accountability for their learning. She is also the 5th grade team leader and has spearheaded grade level projects, participated in multiple professional trainings, school-wide events, is an advocate for increasing parental involvement. She graciously volunteers to assist in school-wide events by being a staff translator at SAC and SAF meetings. Miriam, thank you very much. Oh boy, Sherlande Moreu, am I close? So no. So the answer is no, it was not close. It doesn't have these are the next ones are all school related. Okay, they're not on my page. I'm sorry, folks. The title is not on my sheet. School related employee of the year for Tedder Elementary. She's created strong bonds with families through her work in the front office. She is the school's registrar as she oversees the student registration process, maintains safekeeping of all student records, and is also the attendance manager. She graciously volunteers as a SAC member and assists in school-wide events by being a staff translator. Thank you very much, Sherlan. Brandy Collet? The band director, mentor, and someone who inspires his students to go above and beyond in the classroom. I never would have guessed. Teacher of the Year at Deerfield Beach Middle School. Alexandra Nim, Deerfield Beach Middle School. School-related employee for Deerfield Beach Middle. She's an exemplary administrative professional. She's an amazing person and is always ready to assist whenever and wherever needed. Thank you very much, Alexandra. Bright Horizons, Petta McCarthy. Yes. Wave if you're here. Wave higher if you're here. No, Madam Clerk, what is her title? Teacher of the Year at Bright Horizons. She's been teacher at Bright Horizons for the last 8 years. She's an amazing educator who works with significantly disabled elementary students. She sparks a love of learning in her students through her talent and passion. And I think this may be the last one for this category. Esther Simon, Bright Horizons. Wave if you're here. No? What's her category, please? Yes?
School-related.
No? School-related Employee of the Year. Esther has been at Bright Horizons for the last 5 years. She is a consummate professional committed to ensuring the safety and security of the students, staff, and the campus. Let's give all the recipients a big hand, please. So before we move on, we'd also like to thank our community and business partners and nonprofit organizations for their support and contributions to the city of Deerfield Beach, for their teachers, for everyone that was involved here tonight. Let's give a big round of applause also to the Kiwanis Club of Deerfield Beach. The Women's Club of Deerfield Beach. And Deerfield Beach Community Cares. Oh, and I can't forget the Deerfield Beach Rotary Club. Blue shirts right in front of me. I hope I did not miss anyone. Did I miss anyone else for item number 3? Yes. Principal Henning is here from Quiet Waters. Where? Oh. And with that, I will turn it over to the Vice Mayor for item number 4 tonight.
Well, certainly there's a lot of enthusiasm in the room, without a doubt, a lot of smiling faces, and a lot of reasons for all of us to feel inspired and happy. Just look at all of the people that are contributing in the wonderful city of Deerfield Beach. We all should be very proud and all should be very happy. Every commission meeting should be like this. This is really what it should be like. So congratulations to all of you, all of the teachers. Congratulations to you for your awards, for without you, it does not happen. So thank you very much for the time that you put in. Your job is not easy. And I'm going to tell you, will this get me in trouble or not? You're not paid enough. That's for sure. Can I get an amen? All right. Okay. I take great pride in introducing this set of recipients for an award. Mr. Edwin Derico, Derico. Derico. Mr. Derico, has really taken an interest in working with these kids, and he has truly made a difference. You know, Mr. Derico and the Frequency Drummers participated in the Battle of the Battery competition held at Palm Beach Lakes Community High School. Now, their first time competing was last year, and they got number 1. And when you look at this big trophy, they competed again this year. If you can't figure out what that big trophy means, then I'll tell you, they got number 1 again. The Frequency Drummers placed first against Rosenwald Elementary and Lincoln Elementary. And this is an example of hard work, putting in a lot of time and pushing kids sometimes, pushing these kids when they don't think that they can do it, but having someone in their life that says, yes, you can. And when you do that, they're able to actually exceed expectations. And it's not so, excuse me? Okay, all right. Got a handkerchief, throw it at me. This is a time where we look at what these men are doing with these kids, because they're truly making a difference. It's not really about that trophy. You know what the real trophy is that you will see? It's when these kids graduate high school, when they go on to college. It's not really about a piece of metal. That's just a representation of a lot of the work that a lot of people are putting in, because we want all of these kids to come back to the community and be successful. It won't be all the time that the people that you see up here, this is just our time in representing. This is our time, but it soon will be your time. And when you have the mentors like you have, we know that the city of Deerfield Beach is going to be in good shape. So everybody, please, let's recognize the Frequent Drummers and Mr. Derico. Thank you. The Frequency Drummers, thank you so much for all that you do. Yes, yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Listen, if you want to get in with God, all I'm saying is get in with the frequency. I prayed a prayer. I say, Lord, if you can get me back to Deerfield Beach, I know I can make change. I was living in Miami for 7 years, teaching music for 7 years in Miami. And Lord gave me that gift in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And look what we got. A 5-second prayer with a 5-minute response, and we in the chambers. I appreciate you for recognizing us. I want to thank God first. I also want to thank my mother, who's standing right over there. That's my mama, y'all. That's my mama. That's my mama. That's where I get it from. But I also want to thank my directors as well, Mr. Moreland, Mr. McNeil, oh, my wife is, see, listen, let me tell y'all something real quick. My wife just came from the hospital, y'all. And they say she was all right. Look at her, look at her. Stand out here, look at green suit. And my directors, Mr. McNeil, right there, over here, Mr. McNeil, Mr. Moreland, on the camera right there, Mr. Payne, Mr. Woods over here. Yes, and also our parents, all the parents, stand up, all the parents. All my parents. We can't do this without the parents, y'all. We can't do this without the parents. All right? Love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Well, how do we compete against that, huh?
Well, I think with the drummers, when I was going to school, it used to be 26 rudiments. How many are there now? Is it just, it's still, it's what? Well, okay, I'm dating myself. Okay, fine. Oh, my, really? Okay. Wow. Okay. I won't say anything about rudiments again. That's for sure. Oh my goodness.
I think this is probably a good point. It's getting warm in here. We do have a couple more items on the proclamations. Let's take the break here because it's getting crowded over in that alcove there. Let's take your pictures. Thank you for teachers, administrators, principals, parents, the Education Advisory Board, our local organizations. Thank you all for coming out here tonight. We really appreciate you, and you are the future of Deerfield Beach. Thank you. Colleagues, take some pictures.
All right, here we go.
Okay, we will pick up. We left off at item number 5. Proclamation in recognition of the days of remembrance of the victims of the Holocaust. Can we get BSO to close those doors for a moment, please? It'll eventually clear out, but the Holocaust was a systematic persecution and annihilation of European Jews by Nazi Germany and its collaborators between 1933 and 1945. Jews were the primary victims, with 6 million being murdered. Roma, people with disabilities, and Poles were also targeted for destruction or decimation for racial, ethnic, or national reasons. Millions more, including gay men, Jehovah's Witnesses, Soviet prisoners of war, and political dissidents, also suffered grievous oppression and death under Nazi tyranny. People should never forget the terrible events of the Holocaust and should remain vigilant against hatred, persecution, and tyranny. The days of remembrance have been set aside to remember the victims of the Holocaust, as well as to reflect on the need for respect for all people. In memory of the victims of the Holocaust and in honor of the survivors, as well as the rescuers and liberators, the city of Deerfield Beach will continue to promote human dignity. Now, therefore, I, Todd Drosky, Mayor of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim April 20 through 27, 2025 as days of remembrance of the victims of the Holocaust. I believe Mr. Cohen is here this evening. Is he here?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen, would you like to speak? When you're done, the proclamation will be with the clerk.
Okay, not a fashion statement. I'm taking medicine that makes my eyes go crazy here. And the light from you is just, wow. I'm going to read it so I don't take up too much time, right? Well, first of all, Mayor Drosky, I want to thank you for your very moving statement. And I want to thank you, Commissioner Hudak, for your ongoing eloquence here from the dais. I'm going to leave this part about bloviation out and move on. Before I address the proclamation, Happy Easter. I said that quietly. 88-year-old Pope Francis began to speak from the balcony at St. Peter's. He was ailing, unable to read his traditional Orbe et Orbe from the city, Rome, to the world. A collaborator delegated to speak for him began reading the letter. The Pope's words: "There can be no peace without freedom of religion, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and respect for the views of others." Are you unanimous? A true humanitarian who listens and speaks to what he has learned. Lopsy here. This was the philosophy of Jews and the very early Christians. It reflected the teachings of the great sage Hillel, known as Hillel the Elder. A generation before the onset of this current era, he had established a rabbinic academy that lasted 4 years. And we know for sure, we see in Christian scriptures exactly what he wrote in the Talmud. All of this is what the Holocaust memorials are about. It was established by the United Nations just to celebrate, mourn for the people who were killed. The latest estimate is there were well over 5 million Jews and more than double that amount of non-Jews killed by the Germans under Nazi, under Hitler, and all over the world, even here in the United States, were complicit. They weren't little green men from Mars. I say this now because there's some in this town, maybe in this room, racist, whatever. This is what the Holocaust Memorial is about. Learning from history to advance what was good and to deter repeating what was bad. And it's happening here again, isn't it? The word Holocaust is taken from the Greek for burnt offering. In Israel, the Holocaust Memorial that we're going to celebrate for 24 hours, beginning at sundown tomorrow, all day the day after. It coincides with the lunar calendar. And this year, the Passover coincided, it ended at sundown on Easter Sunday. I quote words uttered by the great sage Hillel in the generation before this time. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? But if I'm for myself alone, sir, what am I? What am I? If not now, when? You got it started, son. Remember never again. In 2017, there was a beautiful proclamation that encompassed everybody. It's now 2025. So I will paraphrase Clara Peller. Anybody here who does not remember Clara Peller? She was an 81-year-old manicurist who was hired to speak in advertising commercials. Where's the beef? Anybody remember that one? Okay. So I'm here to ask you guys, where's the beef? I'm done.
To get to the point, unfortunately, we have a long.
I made
meeting,
my
so
point.
Being respectful.
Where's the
sorry.
beef? Where do we go from here? This wonderful proclamation. I felt the same way about the one in 2017. We've progressed in some areas. Martin Luther King Day has expanded. My grandmother used to go with me in Cleveland. I went everywhere. And it's really progressed well. That's one thing. It's become humanitarian, not somebody's problem. Okay? You figured it out. You figured it out. I would like all of you to get together and see what you can do about making this meaningful as a humanitarian thing, not of who got hurt this time. Because it's happening right here today. This country is doing the damn things that I lived through. I was born in 1931. I lost family members. I have scars, physical and mental. They're healed. My mother went through hell as a child post-World War I. She saw everything that didn't happen to her, the murder, the rape, everything. That time it was pogroms. The parish priest there in her village, they killed God, go get him. In 2017, I was invited to participate in Poland at an international seminar. A Catholic national television personality got together. The parish priest in the same village was involved. They came from all over the world. I spoke in, so I don't know how many broken languages to get some of them there. And this was all done because they found a diary of a little boy he didn't have the smarts of Anne Frank, but it was there. And in speaking about this, I knew nothing of my mother's childhood until she was in her 80s and came to live with me. Our nightmares woke her and me, and I got her to share. It was horrendous. Thank you for listening, folks. I hope we see some action.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Item number 6 is a proclamation presented to the Deerfield Beach Housing Authority in recognition of National Fair Housing Month. Is there anyone here that's going to be accepting that tonight? Raise your hand. Yes, down front. Yes. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, better known as the Fair Housing Act, is a federal law that bans housing discrimination in renting, mortgage lending, applying for housing assistance, and other housing-related activities. The Department of Justice filed suit against real estate professionals, finding violations of the act, one of the most significant housing laws in the history of the United States. The Fair Housing Act still serves as a powerful statement about who we are as a people, the values of equality, equity, and dignity that we all strive to uphold, and the places where we still have to work and fulfill our commitment as a city. Over 57 years, the law has made a world of difference in the lives of countless families and communities. Deerfield Beach is no exception. The Deerfield Beach Housing Authority is committed to ensuring that adequate housing is a right for all people. The city of Deerfield Beach would like to honor the Deerfield Beach Housing Authority for their commitment to fair housing in the community. Therefore, I, Todd Drosky, Mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, would like to declare this month of April as Fair Housing Month. Would you please come forward? Oh, you're right in front of me.
Mayor Drosky,
Happens when you read.
Vice Mayor Preston, and all commissioners. I guess they asked me to accept this because of my lifelong work in the fair housing field. I want to accept this and thank you very graciously for remembering Fair Housing Month. And I will deliver this to Ms. Coley, who's the director of our housing authority here in Deerfield Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And last but certainly not least on our awards and recognitions this evening is number 7, proclamation presented to the Deerfield Beach Rotary Club in recognition of National Volunteer Week. National Volunteer Week is an opportunity to recognize the impact of volunteer service and the power of volunteers to tackle society's greatest challenges, build stronger communities, and be a force that transforms the world. Each year, we shine a light on the people and causes that inspire us to serve, recognizing and thanking volunteers who lend their time, talent, and voice to make a difference in our community. Our city volunteers strengthen communities, improve social challenges, and enhance the overall quality of life for Deerfield Beach citizens. Deerfield Beach Rotary Club volunteers have provided a foundation for a safe and united community by dedicating countless hours to the mentoring of our youth, serving the elderly, and providing food and services to those in need. In addition, and lastly, the city of Deerfield Beach would like to recognize the Rotary Club of Deerfield Beach celebrating their 60th birthday in our city, April 15, 2025. Now I, therefore, Todd Drosky, Mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim April 20th to 26th as National Volunteer Week. Who's going to come forward? Yes, of course. What, does anyone want to speak first?
Yeah.
Okay, Gavin, if you come take the proclamation, please, and speak. They want a picture, so Deus will take a 1-minute break to get a picture with Rotary, and then we'll come back up.
Mayor Drosky and commissioners, thank you so much. This is really quite an honor to receive this. Our club, this is not why we do it. We do it because we care about the city and the residents of the city and the people around us, the people that have shown up here, their tireless work we're a small club, but I like to say we're small but powerful. And it's just a pleasure to work with the city. And you guys have provided such a great platform on so many different levels. So your support has been instrumental in our ability to move forward. And one of the things we're focusing on, which I think is really important, and I just always like to throw it out there, is the environment, the work that we're doing with the C Lab, where we're affecting youth and we're educating in STEM education, especially in environmental concerns and particularly the ocean. It's really important to us. So thank you for your support, and we really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All the work that all of our volunteers and especially Rotary does in our city. You're very important members of the community. So important that I think all 5 of us should step down and take the picture. We'll take 1 second to do that. All the volunteers, you know the drill over here to my right. We'll take a quick picture and then we'll resume the meeting.
I know, you know. Come on.
Exactly. So I appreciate everybody's patience and cooperation. That was a lot of proclamations, a lot of individuals tonight, a lot of organized chaos. So thank you all for participating, for allowing us to do that. We're going to get into the business portion of the meeting, Mr. City Manager and City Attorney. So 8 will be on its own. Looks like 9 and 10 we can discuss together, right? But vote on separately, and then we'll do number 11. We'll do the public comment again, then we'll take a short break for anyone else who wants to leave, restroom break, and then we'll finish the meeting. So, Mr. City Attorney, number 8, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Number 8 on tonight's agenda is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, considering a major site plan from Chick-fil-A Inc. to construct a permanent drive-through canopy and reconfigure the site to add a second drive-through lane with associated site improvements on the approximately 1.08 acre property generally located at 3648 West Hillsborough Boulevard, application number 14B2 122, revision 3. Considering a variance from Land Development Code Section 98-73-4 to permit a front yard setback of 15.4 feet for installation of the drive-through canopies in lieu of the 50-foot front yard setback required by code. That's case number 2608. Considering a technical deviation in accordance with Section 98-88Q of the Deerfield Beach Land Development Code to permit the use on the property to operate with a total of 31 parking spaces in lieu of the minimum 44 parking spaces required by the code. Case number 2609, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date. Reminder to the commission that this item will require a 4/5 vote due to the variance request. The applicant is represented today by the Miskell Bachman firm. And Mr. Dickerson, Dickerson, after stating your name and address for the record, if you would just let me know whether you would waive the more formal quasi-judicial procedure, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Good evening, Dwayne Dickerson on behalf of the applicant, attorney with the law firm Miskell Bachman, offices at 14 Southeast 4th Street in Boca Raton. And yes, sir, I do waive the official quasi-judicial proceeding.
Thank you, Mr. Dickerson. Proceed.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Looks like you have a presentation for us.
I do. It's about 3 hours long. So no, I was told to be brief. So next slide, please. So this is an aerial. You can see the Chick-fil-A, which is in a shopping center. The shopping center is about 8.29 acres in total. and the actual Chick-fil-A is just under 5,000 square feet. The land use is commercial. The zoning is B2, which is your highway business. And both of those designations, the land use and the zoning, permit the proposed use by right. So we don't have any issues there. You can see right there, it's on the southwest corner of Hillsborough Boulevard and Powerline Road. Next slide, please. I know you all have been there or you've been past there. This Chick-fil-A was built over a decade ago. So this is one of the older generation Chick-fil-A's. And as you can see on this slide, the two red the two red squares are the existing menu order boards for the site. And then what you see in the yellow is the drive-through stacking area. Unfortunately, in the older generations, the demand wasn't what it is today, and so there was far less stacking. So as you can see, once you leave the yellow, it goes to a single stack heading south through the parking area and directly conflicts with anybody being able to park there and back up and maneuver. And so now the newer generations, they're designed in a way to avoid conflicts with parking and allow for much more stacking. And that's what we're asking for this evening, the request. So next slide, please. So you can see the existing condition. The picture of the left, that's if you're looking at the north elevation of the Chick-fil-A. So if you were on Hillsborough looking into the site, this is what you would see. And you can see right there in the foreground, the two existing order boards. They're essentially like bronze or black color. The picture to the top right is looking north towards Hillsborough Boulevard. Once again, in that picture, you can also see the two existing order boards. And then the picture on the bottom right is the south side of the Chick-fil-A if you're leaving the drive-through lane. Next slide, please. So we're requesting to install a larger canopy for our team member protection and also compliance with OSHA standards. That's the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. And we'll get into that in a moment. And then also to reconfigure the drive-through to allow for 2 lanes instead of the 1, and then a much greater ability to stack without conflicts. Next slide, please. So these proposed improvements will reduce our order time. So from the time you order until the time you deliver, we want to be an average of under 1 minute to keep the efficiencies going. And this new design will allow us to do that. Also address significant stacking issues that the site has currently. It will allow for more stack, will eliminate the parking conflicts that we discussed, and also alleviate congestions, particularly in the peak hour when you notice that the Chick-fil-A's or there's a much more significant demand. And then also it will allow for the canopies to cover our workers as part of OSHA. If you're going to have workers outside, you need to accommodate them with cover and shade from rain events and sun events, which in South Florida, we have plenty of both. So this will allow us to do that and make sure we're abiding by all OSHA standards. Next slide, please. So this is the proposed new layout. So you'll see the new canopy in red, much larger, which will allow for our employees and team members to be out there, as you know, taking the orders, moving down the line, and still have the cover and meeting all the requirements for their safety. And then in the yellow, that is the new dual stack. So you'll see that not only do we have the dual stack, but we've eliminated all those parking spaces in that area. So we've eliminated all the conflicts with the parking. We have just stacking in that area. We can stack at least an additional 15 vehicles. And then on the left side, you see we reconfigured the parking to accommodate that. Next slide, please. This also did allow us the opportunity to revisit some of our landscaping and in the areas where we are making improvements in the parking. We are upgrading and adding additional landscaping, additional trees, your big category 1 trees that are your gumbo limbos, your live oaks. We're also adding a palm, which I guess you're not supposed to call that a tree. I call it a palm tree, but it's not technically a tree. So a palm and some shrubs and other ground cover. So we did have an opportunity to do this holistically. So with respect to the variance that we're requesting, next slide, please, sir. Thank you. So on that north side or the side fronting Hillsborough, the existing order canopies are in the front setback technically. So we are allowing for this, we're requesting rather that this canopy be allowed to be in that front setback as well. So your code requires a 50-foot setback before any structure of sorts. And we're asking for a 15.4-foot setback to allow for the canopy to be there. The bottom box just tells you that because of the existing order boards, we're not going from 0 to 50. The existing order boards already are in the setback. So we're just requesting to go another 11.6 feet so that we can accommodate this canopy. And I'll show you what that looks like and how we're mitigating any impacts that may cause. Next slide, please. So, Mayor, you know, I had to deal with you as the commissioner and the vice mayor when it comes to variances. And I know it's very important that your city make sure that when you do grant variances that the applicant is meeting all the requirements. So I just want to very, very briefly show you what the requirements are and discuss with you why we meet or exceed all of the requirements for the variance. First of all, you know, the one about being some sort of special condition that exists for the site. Couple things. One, I think we all know Chick-fil-A is special when it comes to their demand and the way they operate and the way they function and the way they circulate. So we need to reevaluate our opportunities here to do that the right way. And so when you're talking about efficiencies, you're talking about safety, not only of our team members, but also when vehicles encroach into adjacent rights of way that can cause safety issues with the vehicle. So we are making sure that we redesign this to eliminate all those conflicts. So I think there are the special conditions of the demand, the fact that this is an older generation store, the fact that it's part of an existing shopping center. So when you do out parcels or any other development of this nature, you would love to have direct access to Hillsborough or the adjacent rights of way, but there's so many different requirements that allow or don't allow. So in this case, we have to deal with internal circulation. So what we're doing now is making sure that this circulates properly and does not conflict with the additional traffic within the shopping center. And before I move on, your staff was very adamant about that. We really initially wanted to just move forward with the additional canopy so we could increase the efficiency of the drive-through. And I think staff rightfully so said, no, this is really an opportunity for us to reevaluate this as an older generation store and do everything we can to upgrade it to make sure it works properly. So, kudos to staff. And so that's why we did then do the modifications to the drive and to the landscaping and to the stacking and the drive-through and all that good stuff. So the next one is special conditions are not the result of or the actions of the applicant. These are improvements. So I think your city would always look for opportunities to encourage property owners and developers to improve sites. That's not something that's a result of an action of ours. This is a good thing, and I think your staff supports that, and hopefully you will also. Granting the variance will not confer any special privilege. I think you would encourage your property owners to take opportunities to reinvest in their properties and make sure that they're functioning the way they should be. Literal interpretation will deprive the applicant rights commonly enjoyed. I think that when you talk about circulation and safety and efficiencies and stuff, you want people to do that the right way. And so we're not depriving, if this was literally interpreted, I think it would deprive an opportunity for this site to function at its maximum capacity, at its maximum efficiency and safeties and all those other things we've talked about. Variance granted is the minimum variance. This is a science at this point of what you need to do and the number of employees you need to make sure that you're moving. So I can reach that less than a minute from order to pickup. This is the size canopy that we need to accommodate the number of employees that we need to make sure that this works. So we're not asking for anything more than what's needed to make sure this works properly. And then lastly, granting this variance will be in harmony with the general intent of the code. Your code clearly wants properties to not conflict with parking, to increase landscaping, to circulate properly and safely. So once again, I think we're spot on with this 6 criteria that your code looks at with respect to granting variances. And then with the parking, I will add that while staff looks at Chick-fil-A within its confined boundaries for this out parcel of sorts, it is still part of the general shopping center, and parking is still allowed as additional parking spaces within the shopping center. So that's why we're asking for the parking deviation to accommodate the drive-through and these improvements, but we still have opportunities to park in other areas in the shopping center as necessary. So I think we've mitigated any impacts with the parking reduction that we're requesting. Next slide, please. So this is what you can see, the canopy in the yellow. And on the right side, of the east side, is the closest to the property. But you see, as it goes to the west, the property line, which is the top darker line, kind of jogs a little bit to the north, giving us more room. But of course, when you ask for a variance, you ask for the smallest measurement, which is the 15.6 feet that we ask for. But as you go west, it does get larger. Next slide, please. And this is an elevation of the canopy. So you can see on the left side, that's the side elevation, which you would see if you were on Hillsborough. And then on the right side is if you were entering the drive-through, you can kind of see the orientation of the canopy. Once again, this would meet all required OSHA standards, so we can do this the right way. Next slide, please. So this is a rendering of what the canopy will look like from Hillsborough looking into the site, looking south into the site. So as you can see with the landscaping and some of the other components of the site plan, it will blend nicely and it will be properly screened so that it won't be any negative impacts visually from Hillsborough Boulevard. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dickerson. Before we get into that, I believe the clerk needs to make a statement.
Pursuant to Ordinance 2009-006, City of Deerfield Beach Code of Ethics, the applicant's representative made the following campaign contributions. Mayor Todd Drosky, $1,000 on January 10th, 2025. Commissioner Shanetsky, $500 on July 22nd, 2024. Vice Mayor Preston, $1,000 on February 21st, 2023. And Commissioner Hudak, $1,000 on January 17th, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Stay close, Mr. Dickerson. I don't see any lights lit up. So, Madam Clerk, is there anyone online? We'll open it to the public. Anyone online, Madam Clerk, that would like to speak? Anyone in the chamber that would like to speak on this item? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing. I see three lights. I don't know which light went on first. Commissioner Plout, I'll start with you since it's your district.
Okay, thank you. Nice presentation, Mr. Dickerson.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, it is in my district and I do go there a lot. I was a little shocked that it's been 10 years already because when I was on the planning and zoning board and we approved the first site plan and it was built, I took a few pictures. So I'm gonna have to look those up.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's hard to believe it's been 10 years. I have had the pleasure to go to some other franchises lately, and the bug in my ear was that this generation prefers to grab and go, and there's a corporate push, so to speak, from Chick-fil-A as a whole to actually open up some locations that do not have in-house dining. Okay, and that exists here in the city. Also, being a regular public shopper and coming into that outer loop heading west, quite frequently at certain hours, the traffic is blocked up on that single lane all the way across. The people are a little unforgiving to let you through because they think you're not going through. They think you're going to make a right and get in front of the line,
Yes,
you know?
sir.
So I've learned to drive another way to avoid that. So in summary, I like the idea of it. I don't have a problem with the variance. And I like the idea that you could serve somebody in just 1 minute. That's amazing. So
Yes.
I sit here in favor of it at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll go to Commissioner Shanetsky.
Well, I shop in this plaza. I shop in this plaza all the time. It's very near where I live. And it's a very, very busy plaza. They have a Publix, as Tom said. They have a movie theater. They have a Marshalls, TJ Maxx, pet supply store, restaurants. It's very, very busy. I like this plan because I think it accommodates the traffic very well. And I also like the fact that there's a canopy protecting the workers because they come out and they serve the customers. It's a really nice way for them to interact with the customers, a great feeling. And I've seen it where it's very, very hot. And I've seen it where it suddenly burst out in rain. And I like that this canopy is here. And I think the site is large enough to definitely accommodate this. So I think it's great.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vice Mayor Preston.
Thank you, Mayor. My comments is directly related to Commissioner Shinetsky, and that is the canopy. So I just want to ask a question because I think that especially knowing what we deal with in the summertime, when you put that canopy up, is there any regard to um, color in terms of anything that will absorb heat more, or is just you put up a canopy and, you know, do you actually get into what will actually protect them the most?
Yes, sir, if I may, Mr. Mayor. Yes, sir. So the canopy does a few things. One, it has fan systems that are built into the canopy, which is a really cool feature to cool down the team members underneath it. We work closely with your staff. Color schemes are very important in making sure that we have the compatibility. But now with the technology of the systems, the paint systems, the metals that are used to diffuse heat and everything, we make sure we use the latest technology to try to take advantage of those opportunities as well. So it's high quality. It's state of the art in terms of its technology in diffusing heat in the fan systems and so forth. So that's a very good point, and we absolutely take advantage of all those opportunities. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, Vice Mayor?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I'll just chime in that I do live in District 4, so I know how desperately needed these improvements are needed for that location. Commissioner Plout is 100% right that it does back up there and that these improvements will alleviate that. So, and you were very thorough on the variance presentation, so I don't think I need to get into that. So I appreciate that. With that, is there a motion by any of my colleagues?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Commissioner Plout, seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. Could we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Plout,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinetsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Drosky.
Yes. Mr. City Attorney, could you read 9 and 10 together, please?
Sure, and we will need separate votes on each one of these. Item number 9 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, considering a major site plan from FMO of Boca Raton, Inc. to construct 3 two-story townhome units and associated site improvements on the property located at 2013 Southeast 3rd Street, application number 23 RM 25-112. Considering variances from Land Development Code Section 98-61 to permit a street side setback of 20 feet in lieu of the 25-foot street side yard setback required by code, and to permit a minimum lot width of 60 feet in lieu of the 100-foot minimum lot width required by code. Case number 2584, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date. Item number 10 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach accepting a 5-foot wide right-of-way dedication to the city from FMO of Boca Raton, Inc. along Southeast 3rd Street as depicted on Exhibit A in connection with the 3rd Street Townhome Development Project located at 2013 Southeast 3rd Street, providing for conflicts, implementation, and an effective date. A reminder, item number 9 will require a 4/5 vote due to the variance requests. And you know the drill, Mr. Dickerson.
Long time no see. Good evening, Dwayne Dickerson on behalf of the applicant, attorney with the law firm Misco Backman, offices at 14 Southeast 4th Street in Boca Raton. And yes, I do waive the quasi judicial proceeding. May I proceed, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Please
Thank
do.
you. Thank you.
Present 9 and 10 together. I assume that
Yes,
you're
sir.
going to do.
Yes,
but we'll
sir.
vote on them
I'll
separately.
present 9. Yes, sir. You'll vote separately, but I will absolutely give a comprehensive presentation of both. So the property, as you can see in the red designation there, is on Ocean Drive, just south of Hillsborough. And then zoom in on the next slide, please. Zoom in, you can see a little better here. It's on the northeast corner of Ocean Drive and Southeast 3rd Street. The site is approximately 0.21 acres in size, and that's net. Gross would be if you went to the center line of each adjacent right-of-way, and I think gross would take us up to about 0.34 acres. And that really just gives you the understanding of what your maximum density can be on the site based on the gross acreage and the size. But the future land use is residential high, which allows for 25 dwelling units to the acre. It has the matching zoning designation of RM25. And the property is currently vacant, but with that land use and that zoning, this is a use, the townhouse use is permitted by right. So we're not asking for any special approvals with respect to the zoning and the land use for this property. Next slide, please. So we're requesting site plan approval to develop the property with 3 two-story townhomes. As well as that, we have accompanying variances, which we'll go through very briefly in a moment. The first variance is to allow a street side corner yard setback, which is along Southeast 3rd Street of 20 feet instead of the 25 feet that's required by the code in the zoning district. And then we're also requesting that the lot width be 60 feet instead of the 100-foot lot width that's required by your code. Next slide, please. So this is the site plan, just to give you orientation. On the left side is Ocean Drive, and on the bottom or the south is Southeast 3rd Street. And the front of the townhomes are from 3rd Street. So you would enter from 3rd Street. You can see there's 2 different access openings. One access opening is for the 2 townhouses to the left or to the west. And then the one to the right or to the east, there's an access opening for that townhouse. Like I said, they're all 3-story. There's 3 of them total, and they're all 2 stories. They have 2 bedrooms and 2.5 bath with a den. They have garages. All 3 of them will have garages, single car garages. And the 3 units are just over 1,800 square feet. So the 2 in units, which are A and C, are about 1,823 square feet. And then the one in the middle is a little smaller, 1,806 square feet, give or take. But, access is on Southeast 3rd Street. And you'll see why that kind of has, while that essentially serves as the front, it is really a side as far as your code is required, is your code designates. So Ocean on the west side is the front, and then the right side would be the rear. So even though we enter from the Southeast 3rd, the front's there, all that access points, it's still by your code. It's the other one. That was one of the reasons why we need the variance. Next slide, please. So as we've talked about on other projects last few months, your city code through your engineering department requires that right-of-ways be a certain width. And if they're not, when you come for a development on each side of that right-of-way, the city will require you to dedicate your respective share. In this case, they're missing 5 feet on our side of 3rd Street. So as part of this project, we are dedicating 5 feet of right-of-way, which you see in the red hatched area along the entire side of our development. And lo and behold, we owe you 25 feet in setback. Minus the 5 feet, now we can only provide the 20 feet, and it is solely because of the right-of-way dedication. But for the dedication, we would be able to provide the 25 feet, and we would not be requesting the variance. So once again, you talk about special circumstances. This is a right-of-way dedication. It's required by your code. This isn't something that the applicant is requesting to put more on this site than is permitted. By the way, at the density that we have, we could allow for up to probably 8 units. But in order to fit setbacks and sidewalks and then landscaping and open space, we're only asking for 3 because that was the right size for this project and not overdoing it. Okay. But that's why we have that variance, as you can see in the red. Now, the other variance is for the lot width. Now, if we were measuring the front of the lot where you enter, it would be on 3rd Street, and we'd have well in excess of the 100 feet that's required. But because your code requires us to reorient it, and it's essentially the short side is only 60 feet. And with respect to that, these lots were platted back in 1923. So this lot was always designed. It wasn't as if we split it and tried to duplicate it. This is the size of the lot as it was platted over 100 years ago. And so, now that your code has changed and is requiring 100 feet, you got the code change coupled with the fact that the way the code requires you to select front versus side, that's the request for the variance. Once again, a very special circumstance based on the platting and the age of the plat and the location and size of this lot. Nothing to do with the applicant or the applicant self-inflicting this on this project. And we believe this is the minimum requested variance. We're not asking for anything more than that. And this is in harmony with all of these lots on the beach that were platted that long ago. You'll see throughout that they're all about this size at the 60 feet in width. And so this is consistent and not any special privilege on this property owner. Next slide, please. And then I'll leave you with some pretty pictures. So this is the southwest view of the townhomes. Next slide, please. Southeast view here. And then the next slide, please. This is the rear. One thing I want you to notice, the 360 degree architecture. The days where your city is saying, okay, make the front look pretty and the back just be a back, those days are no longer. Your code and your staff are requiring that the front of the building to look equal to the rear of the building, and that it has appeal on all four sides. So your staff has done a great job there, and this applicant has, I think, done everything that staff has asked. We had unanimous approval at Community Appearance Board, unanimous approval at Planning and Zoning Board, and we think we're ready to move forward. So we respectfully request your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dickerson.
Oh, I forgot one slide, a couple other views. You can just breeze through them. There we go. Thank you.
Okay, before we get into questions, Madam Clerk has a disclosure again.
Pursuant to Ordinance 2009-006, City of Deerfield Beach Code of Ethics, the applicant's representative made the following campaign contributions. Mayor Todd Drosky, $1,000 on January 10th, 2025. Commissioner Shinetsky, $500 on July 22nd, 2024. Vice Mayor Preston, $1,000 on February 21st, 2023. And Commissioner Hudak, $1,000 on January 17th, 2022.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Shinetsky, you have your light on?
Yes. Question.
Yes,
Isn't
sir.
there a very similar design very near where this site is? And I happen to drive by there, and it fits in really well with the community. And what's amazing is, like you said, this plot is from 1923. Over 102 years, nothing has been put in this site. So I think it's great that a developer is finally doing something with it instead of just a blank site that a lot of times I would see people throw garbage. So now something beautiful is going to be put on there. Housing, it's very near the ocean. So I think it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. That's all for the lights. Madam Clerk, is there anyone online that would like to speak? Mr. Hers, go ahead, please. Opening up
Hi,
to the public hearing.
Dan Hurst, 330 Southeast 19th Avenue. I live less than a block away from this property. And I always heard the mayor and others say time and time again that in order to get a variance, you need to show a hardship. Where's the hardship here regarding lowering the width from 100 feet to 60 feet?
Anything else, Mr. Hers? I see he went on mute. Anyone else online, Madam Clerk? Anyone in the chamber this meeting? Okay, I will close the public hearing. Mr. Dickerson, if you would come back. And going to the lights, Mr. Hudak has his light on. Commissioner?
Thank you very much. I do echo Commissioner Shinetsky's points with regards to finally developing this property. I really think this was a thoughtful plan. Again, you could have attempted to go a lot higher and a lot more dense. And instead you did the right thing by looking for a facility that is, again, reasonable with regards to its development. So I'm really, really excited to see this project move forward, and I do support it. And I do see the reason for the variance, and I'll stop right there.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Dickerson, if you just want to repeat the hardship, I know I don't want to go backwards, but it is important, and you know how I am on the variances.
Yes, sir.
I know the code imposition is itself is a hardship on you.
Right.
But if you
Yes,
could
sir.
just quickly repeat that, I would appreciate it. And then I'll be looking for a motion from my colleagues.
Yes, sir. So with respect to variance, you look at special conditions that apply to the property or the development. I think, like I said, this property, and was noted by some of your colleagues, was platted over 100 years ago, and it was platted at a certain dimension. And then subsequent to that, your code changed, and the requirements now that the lots have to be 100 feet in width, as opposed to the 60 feet, which is not only this property, but several other properties in this area were platted at the 60 feet. So that's nothing that we did since we purchased the lot. And to your colleague's point, I think some of the challenges with development as to why this property stayed vacant for so long. You know, it's a nice piece of property. It's really close to the ocean. So you would wonder why a property like this has stayed vacant. I think those challenges and other design challenges made it very difficult to move forward. And then as a site of this nature in this location, the value proposition, you know, you need to make sure that the reinvestment matches what you're paying for the land and so forth. So that's why I'm sure developers have said, well, I need to do the 8, 10 plus units to make this work. But you had somebody who's willing to invest and do a reasonable, modest development. To your point, Commissioner Hudak, the height in this district, I believe, is 55 feet, and ours is not even half of that. I think we're at about 22 feet in height. So in terms of looking at impacts and making sure we're compatible with the neighborhood and compatible with the neighbors, we've looked at all that in our design program. But specifically to the variance, if you look at a right-of-way dedication that's required by your code, has nothing to do with the applicant or the applicant. So that's a hardship. When you have a certain size property and something that takes a piece of your property, and a property that's already, you know, net about 0.21 acres, and then you take another 704 square feet, that makes it that much more difficult to develop. I think that is definitely a non-self-inflicted hardship on this property. And then you look at a property that we inherited that's 100 years old, that has set dimensions that are in place, and now your code has subsequently changed. That's no reason or no issue that's caused by the applicant. That is a hardship that's been placed on the applicant that we had to design around to make this work. And I think that supports the variances.
Commissioner Plout, your light went on.
Quick question, possibly for staff. Were any of the letters that were sent out returned? Does anyone know? Mr. Power?
Sorry, Eric Power, Director of Plan Development Services. No letters were returned.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to know.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Plout.
Commissioner Hudak?
We did do all of our community outreach and satisfied all of your code requirements with respect to that.
It's in the backup. Yes. Commissioner Hudak, did you want to speak?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Number 9 only, correct?
Correct.
Motion to
Second.
approve number 9 by Commissioner Hudak, seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Plout,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinetsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Drosky.
Yes. I'm now looking for a motion on item number 10.
I'll make a motion to approve item 10.
Second.
Motion to approve number 10 by Commissioner Hudak, second by Vice Mayor Preston. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Plout,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinetsky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Drosky.
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dickerson. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you.
It's been brought to my attention that we have some time schedule conflicts for some people involved on number 30. So with my colleagues' approval, I'd like to move number 30 up to this point in the agenda right now. Anyone have any objection?
No objection. Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
to move up item number 30 by Commissioner Hudak, seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll start with you, Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item
30.
Item number 30 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving a settlement agreement with the Board of Trustees of the Deerfield Beach Municipal Police Officers Retirement Trust Fund and its membership, providing for the settlement of all claims regarding municipal police officer retiree health insurance payments for an aggregate sum not to exceed $525,000, conditioned upon receipt of a full release, providing for provisions for prospective relief members, authorizing expenditures and execution of documents necessary to effectuate the settlement, providing for severability, implementation, and an effective date. If it's okay with you, Mayor, I'll just give a brief summary of this item and where we're at.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. In early 1990, the City of Deerfield Beach entered into interlocal agreement with the Broward Sheriff's Office for the Broward Sheriff's Office to provide law enforcement services. Following the adoption of that interlocal agreement, all the then existing City of Deerfield Beach police officers became BSO deputy sheriffs. Around that time, there was a certain memorandum of understanding that was issued or approved by the City Commission concerning medical insurance coverage for police officers and non-uniform personnel who transferred to BSO as a result of that interlocal agreement. Subsequent to that, there was another memorandum of understanding entered into in 2006 regarding the same issue. A dispute arose approximately a year and a half ago with respect to interpretation of those two MOUs with respect to the medical insurance coverage. Last summer, the City Commission approved a tolling agreement, which basically put a pause or a stay on the statute of limitations for the claims to allow the parties to go to mediation to see if we could resolve it between the parties without going to formal litigation and to save some time and litigation expenses to the extent we could resolve it in mediation. Thereafter, the parties entered into that mediation. We had extensive mediation discussions and multiple meetings. We engaged in information sharing. And as a result of that process, we now have the agreement that's before you. It was tentatively approved by the board of the fund. And I don't want to speak for him, but the city manager supports it as well. Ultimately, it is subject to your final approval, though, which is why we're here tonight. Essentially, what the agreement provides is that for all claims and benefits prior to October 1 of 2024, those would all be resolved for an aggregate settlement amount of $525,000 that would be paid to the fund. They would distribute payments to those respective members upon submission of the releases. It also provides for more clear administration of this program going forward for what we call prospective relief members that are owed payments on or after October 1 of 2024 to prevent some of the issues that we had before. For example, like someone would retire from BSO and the city didn't get notice that they were retired to even effectuate those requests. Additionally, there's also a dispute resolution process in there to the extent that there is any issues in the future that would help mitigate any litigation. I'm pleased to report that they got 100% participation with respect to their membership when they put out the notices. Members had the ability to opt in or opt out, and they chose to opt in. So that is the settlement agreement that's here before you. Mr. Levinson, Fund Counsel, is here today, as well as Mr. Giannino, Board Representative. They put a lot of hard work into this as well to get to this point. And so I appreciate their work. Happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Before I open it up to my colleagues, Mr. City Manager, did you want to add anything?
I do want to say that the members of the board, as well as their legal counsel, has done an excellent job working with us. And I think that we've ironed out every single possible and permutation of retirement that BSO can go through. And that allows the city to do what is the right thing for these retired employees.
Okay. Counselor, would you like to speak?
Attorney Adam Levinson with the law firm of Klausner, Kaufman, Jensen, Levinson. Just want to point out that I agree wholeheartedly with what you've heard. I want to thank the board's representative he doesn't get paid to do this, by the way, for the hours that have been spent going back and forth. I appreciate the professionalism shown by the city and city council, and I don't want to delay the discussion any further, but we're here to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Levinson. Commissioner Hudak, give your light on.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this city in the past has had some challenges with insurance as with regards to, staff maybe not doing things the proper way. Have we determined the root cause of this issue? I do not believe it was a staff issue. I believe it had to do with notifications and interpretation of the memorandum for agreement. But if you could elaborate a little bit on the root cause and what we've done in order to ensure that nothing happens further in the future.
Well, like I said, one of the issues was that there was folks retiring from BSO and the city wasn't getting notice. Another one of the issues was with respect to the payment amounts and adjustments as insurance premiums go up. Another issue is that the city's records for these employees are in some cases more than 30 years old. So, we don't have the best record keeping from over 30 years ago, let's say, to document some of these things. So the information sharing that the parties went through, I think really helped clarify the issue. I'll speak for the city, they can speak for themselves, but I think helped clarify the issue. And I will say the city didn't get everything that it wanted in the negotiation. I think it's fair to say that they didn't get everything they wanted. And usually lawyers say that's probably a good sign of a good settlement. So.
And we've
answered your question.
eliminated any kind of future root causes that may occur or pop up?
We believe we've mitigated that potential, and the pool, as time goes on, the pool will shrink. These benefits are only good until these individuals reach 65.
And you said you had 100% opt-in?
Yes.
Thank you.
That was a thumbs up by Mr. Levinson. Commissioner Shinetsky.
I feel if any worker has earned their retirement, it's definitely police officers. I have a lot of friends that were in the police department. I'm from New York City. And the sacrifice, the dedication, the 24/7 involvement in their community to protect the citizens, the community. If there's anybody that has deserved the best retirement, it's, I think, our police officers. They put their lives on the line to protect us. They put their lives on the line to protect our property and to protect the community. So any way that we could honor the sacrifice that they have made in their career, I'm definitely for it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Plow.
Thank you, Mayor. I spent a lot of time looking at this, and I also spoke briefly with our council and the city manager so that I could understand it. I don't really see this as a fault of the city, but there is a right, there is a wrong that has to be corrected. And if it should be corrected for anyone, it should be for our first responders. I also like the fact that coming from a financial background and being literally a licensed broker for 39 years, I know that there's conflicts sometimes between a broker and a customer. And when the stock market drops or something, and people want to sue people and put somebody out of business and all that. And so what a brokerage does is they put up a mediation process, and they have an arbiter or that works third party. I'm not a lawyer, but I know I've seen it a lot of times. I never had a complaint. So, but it happens. You read about it in the newspaper. So the mediation process with an arbitrator proves that at the end of that process, that both sides agree on something. So if they're in agreement, you would have to be in support of the settlement that everyone agreed on. And so that makes perfect sense to me, the process that went into this. I'm proud of my city for doing something like this. And I'm totally in favor of this mediated settlement.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor Preston.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say I agree with Commissioner Shinetsky's point about making sure what is deserved that they get, but don't forget about the brave men and women of the fire department. Okay.
Got
it. Yes, I'm still a proud firefighter.
Well stated, Vice Mayor. We'll go to the public comment portion of this item. Madam Clerk, is there anyone online that would like to speak? Mr. Hurst, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Dan Hurst, 330 Southeast 19th Avenue. As with many matters with this city, there is a lot more here than meets the eye. I know none of the 5 of you attended any of the Deerfield Beach Retired Police Officer Pension Board meetings, but I did on May 23rd, 2024 and June 27th, 2024. What I witnessed was gut-wrenching. At the meetings, many of the 46 police retirees and their spouses told stories of how the city's refusal to pay the medical premiums that they were contractually responsible for paying was seriously affecting some of the police retirees' financial well-being. Why did the Police Officer Retiree Pension Board have to threaten the city with a lawsuit in May of 24 before the city would begin addressing this non-payment of contractual obligations? Even more puzzling was the revelation to me by the pension board attorney, Adam Levinson, and I quote, "I can't speak to the timing of when information percolated up to the city manager, but working from memory, I began escalating the non-payment item to the city attorney's office in late 2023. Best regards, Adam Levinson." It wasn't until June 27, 24 that the Tom Brady of city managers, David Santucci and Anthony Soroka, bothered to show up to a Deerfield Beach Retired Pension Officer Board meeting. Only then did they agree to mediation to settle this non-payment problem. I wonder how much in legal fees the city had to waste on this settlement that never should have been necessary in the first place. I guess I'll have to file another Freedom of Information request to get that answer. How can this city have treated our retired police officers so shabbily and disrespectfully when they put their lives on the line every day that they went to work to protect us? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hurst. Anyone else online, Madam Clerk? Gwen Clark-Reed?
Yes, Gwen Clark-Reed, 1430 Southwest 6th Way. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. How does this affect those deceased members of BSO retirees who are no longer with us? Are their families going to be able to claim what they didn't get in this settlement? If someone could explain that, thank you.
Thank you, State Representative. Madam Clerk, anyone else online? Anyone in the commission chamber that would like to speak on item number 30? Seeing no one, I'm going to close the public hearing. No more lights. Mr. City Manager, this is not a death benefit, correct? So there's no city attorney?
It is not a death benefit. I think there is one individual that may have been impacted. He's listed on or Exhibit A through the time period, I think, in question. And in fact, there is a surviving spouse provision in there for that one individual.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Levinson can confirm that, but I don't see him jumping up to correct me.
I don't either. I heard a motion to approve by Commissioner Hudak.
Second.
Seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Hudak?
Yes.
Commissioner Plout?
Yes.
Commissioner Shinetsky?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston?
Yes.
Mayor Drosky?
Yes. Okay, at this point, we're going to go back on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Levinson, for coming this evening. To number 11 is our last public hearing this evening. Mr. City Attorney?
Item number 11 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving the State Housing Initiative Program SHIP Local Housing Assistance Plan for fiscal years 2025 through 2026, 2026 through 2027, and 2027 through 2028, the LHAP. Authorizing the mayor to execute any necessary documents, certifications, authorizing the submission of the LHAP to the Florida Housing Coalition, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Good
evening,
evening,
Mr.
Mayor.
Salas. Please proceed.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, Jonathan Salas, Director of Community Services. And tonight before you, I have a presentation on the City of Deerfield Beach Local Housing Assistance Plan. This is for fiscal year 2025 through 2028. The SHIP program, for those who aren't familiar with the SHIP program, this program was born in 1992 as a result of the Sadowski funds. So these funds were designated for affordable housing. So in this presentation, I'll talk a little bit about our 3-year plan and answer any questions you may have. So here we talk about the local housing assistance plan. Again, it's through SHIP funds and it's designed to preserve affordable housing. These funds are for very low and moderate income residents. This plan is due every 3 years, and the city receives an allocation of funding based on a formula basis. And in this plan, we'll talk about the strategies that the city will adopt tonight to combat affordable housing. So here, on this slide here, you'll see the strategies that the city would like to adopt. Our Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, these are the strategies that they're recommending. So to continue our home rehabilitation program, the city's purchase assistance program, as well as this disaster assistance strategy, which would allow us to fund if in event we was to have an emergency, we can fund the program immediately, being that this is a strategy now in our plan. So you can see the program terms. Our maximum award for a moderate family would be up to $40,000 worth of assistance. And for a very low or low income household, you'll be eligible for up to $70,000. So with our home repair program, to put a plug on that, that is pretty much a hurricane hardening program. It's designed primarily for new roof, windows, and doors. I oftentimes say it's not a HGTV program where you can't just decide to change the color of your home. It's more to harden the home. Here you see for our purchase assistance program, HUD released these new guidelines April of this year. So the purchase price of your home cannot exceed the $636,806. These funds are used in the form of a grant. So you may have an affordability period anywhere from 0 to 15 years, depending on how much we assist you with. So in the plan, we talk about some of the strategies that the city has adopted over the years to assist with affordable housing. So strategies that we have in place currently is expedited permitting. So if you're creating any affordable housing project within the city of Deerfield Beach, your permit is expedited. So in the event that you do have an affordable housing project, you'll come by the Community Services Department. We provide you with a stamp that notifies the building officials that this affordable housing program project, so the permit is expedited. Also, we have an ongoing review process, which primarily is under the wheelhouse of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, which they meet on a quarterly basis to continue to look at affordable housing strategies and how could they adopt new strategies that assist with preserving affordable housing. Also, we have a printed inventory of locally owned public lands. So that's something that you can find on the city website where we update that list of land that the city owned that will be available for affordable housing purposes only. So here at the bottom, you'll see that our allocation is an estimate, and this number is subject to change. It can go up or it can go down. But the estimate is 664, which will have a 10% of that is for admin costs, which pays for a portion of the housing coordinators who operate these programs. So here are some delivery goals that we must accomplish when utilizing our SHIP funds. So with SHIP funds, 75% of the funds must be utilized for construction. 65% of those funds must be for home ownership. And then 30% is for very low income. And then 30% is for low income residents. So with that being said, I would like to ask the commission to adopt this plan for the LHAP for fiscal year 25 through 28 and authorize submittal to the Florida Housing Finance Corporation. This plan is due to the state of Florida by May 2nd. This is the second public hearing. We had a public hearing in February with our Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, and then tonight is our second hearing. And if the commission will adopt this plan, staff can forward this over
to the state of Florida. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Salas. Commissioner Hudak?
Just one quick question. On your plan structure, housing delivery goals, construction/rehab 75%, home ownership 65%, very low 30%, low income 30%. It's a lot more than 100%. So maybe you could explain that to me. I'm sorry, but
Yes, so it's a formula that SHIP uses. And what they're saying is, the reason they come up with this is you don't want the funds to go just to admin or something like that. So what we're saying is 75% of your projects must go towards construction.
75% of the projects, not the
Yes,
funds.
yes,
Okay, got it.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions?
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't see any other lights. Madam Clerk, is there anyone online that would like to speak? Former State Representative Reed? Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Gwen Clark Reed, 1430 Southwest 6th Way, Deerfield. I heard Mr. Salas's presentation, but all of this is based on the governor's budget and what happens with the budget. And I think that that has to be made very, very clear, particularly in these times, that before we used to be able to say, oh, more or less, yeah, we know that, SHIP funds are going to be there and nobody's going to pull out but X amount of dollars from them. But in the times that we're in now, I want Mr. Salas to be very clear to us that all of this that you are presenting tonight is based on the budget, the state budget.
Thank you, State Representative. If anyone would know, it would definitely be you having served us in Tallahassee for 8 years. Thank you. Madam Clerk, anyone else online? Anyone in the commission chamber that would like to speak on item number 11? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. There's no further lights. Is there a motion on number 11?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve number 11 by Vice Mayor Preston, seconded by Commissioner Hudak. Madam Clerk, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Commissioner Hudak?
Yes.
Commissioner Plaut?
Yes.
Commissioner Shinutsky?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston?
Yes.
Mayor Drosky?
Yes, thank you. We're now at the public comment portion tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Those that want to speak, for staying. I know we had a long agenda ahead of this. Mr. City Attorney?
Persons addressing the commission shall state his or her name and address and may speak for 3 minutes. This is the time for public comment on items that are not on the agenda. If you have public comment on an item that is on tonight's agenda, the time to do that is after the agenda item is read into the record and the public comment period for that item is open. No comment shall be made related to the personal life or personal qualities of any person, and no language which would offend persons of ordinary sensibilities shall be permitted.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Before we begin, Madam Clerk, did anyone fill out a comment card this evening? Could you just, who's first? Mr. Hers, go ahead.
Dan Hers, 330 Southeast 19th Ave. Let's start with the disappearance tonight of agenda item number 31, the renegotiated Danielle Rossi Pier Restaurant lease agreement. According to Judy Wilson, who was privy to the new lease agreement instead of the taxpayers, Rossi is paying $1.6 million less than her original lease agreement. There is no justification for this huge reduction. Who negotiated this $1.6 million reduction on a property owned by the taxpayers of Deerfield Beach? Who in their right mind would say that Danielle Rossi suffered $1.6 million in damages? One could make a strong case that her inability to take possession of the property on November 1st, 23 was a blessing for her, as she did not have to deal with the drop-off in sales that other restaurants have suffered due to the city's abrupt closing of the pier and adjoining parking lot in June. The city manager stated in an email to me on April 3rd that all my questions about Rossi and the Pier restaurant would be answered at tonight's meeting. Let's see how truthful that statement is by the end of the night. It has now been 166 days, 20 hours, and 14 minutes since the City Commission put all 88,000 residents of Deerfield Beach at great risk and endangered public safety, which I thought was the commission's #1 priority at all times. What am I referring to? The city has not had a director of public safety since 11:30 p.m. on November 6, 2024. The taxpayers were told time and again how important this $200,000 salary plus benefits position was when the current mayor led the charge to hire someone for this newly created position. If it was so imperative to have this position filled just a few years ago, then how come now it is so unimportant that this critical city position has gone unfilled for 6 months? Maybe to this commission, public safety isn't that important anymore. Remember, your actions speak much louder than words. At the District 1 residents meeting recently, I brought up the expiration of CG&A's contract for code enforcement and permitting in 5 months. I failed to ask whether the ex-mayor's request to analyze the cost of bringing code enforcement and permitting in-house was now a dead issue. I have a suggestion for the city manager. Why doesn't he take a proactive rather than reactive role in identifying other companies that do what CG&A does? He could call other city managers and ask them who they use and if they are satisfied. I don't know too many people who are satisfied with CG&A. Even the current mayor said the following: throughout my campaign, there were various concerns brought up by the community, including the building department and turnaround time for permits. If you do this, Mr. City Manager, then we can avoid.
Thank you, Mr. Hers. Madam Clerk, is there anyone else online that would like to speak this evening? I'm sorry, any additional comment cards? Peggy Ross, and is there anyone after her? Janet Garner, just be on deck.
Peggy Ross, 103 19th Avenue, Deerfield Beach. Mine is in reference to the beach, the dunes. One of the things that makes our beach special to me, and I walk it at least once every day, sometimes twice, is that when I walk on the boardwalk or paver walk, I can see the beach, I can see the ocean with the boats and what's the activities going on. You're talking about putting in dunes that could be 4 feet high, and that will block all of that view for people who are walking or sitting at the beach. And I would be really disappointed in that happening, because I said to me, and I'm sure others, because they sit on the beaches, on those benches all along, and they have their coffee or their sandwiches just to see that. So I would hope you would take that into consideration when you have on the south side, they have dunes and they're very low, they're not tall. So I don't understand why they have to be tall at the northern side of the beach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Ross. I'm sorry, who was next, Madam Clerk? Come on down.
Hello, Mayor and the commissioners. My name is Janet Garner. I'm 660 Northwest 3rd Avenue in Deerfield. I came because many years ago, in the 90s, we used to have what we call Mango Fest, where we used to come out to the park and just enjoy music. Well, now we don't have anything in the city of Deerfield to just come out to our District 2 area where we can just enjoy and just listen to music in the park. You know, we have to go to other cities like Pompano and Fort Lauderdale for that. And I was talking to my District 2 Commissioner, Vice Mayor Preston this weekend about us coming back to Deerfield with something that we can just enjoy on the park, you know, music on the park, at least like once a month or so, just for the community to get together and just enjoy our city. Thank you.
Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you. Madam Clerk, any other comment cards? Okay, is there anyone else online that would like to speak? Anyone in the commission chamber that would like to speak? Thank you for being patient.
Good evening. Gina Johnston, 500 Southwest Natur Avenue. Thank you,
everyone for everything that you're doing. I'm actually here asking for your help. I believe it was back in January, I attended a meeting for the planning session of the rehabilitation loans for the upcoming year. In Natura, I represent a senior community, and many of the homeowners there rely on getting a new roof or storm windows because they don't have the funds to do so. So in sitting with that group, I talked with everybody. They assured me that applications were going to open at the beginning of March. March 1st was a Saturday, so the first day was March 3rd. I announced that to our Naturians to let everyone know. I'm really here for one woman in particular, Edna Parkin, who is 92 years old, who cannot afford to put a roof on. She has called multiple times and they told her they're not organized yet. Call back in April. She called them again, call back in May. So I followed up with them myself today and they explained to me that they are not yet organized to actually receive applications for rehabilitation. I spoke to another homeowner who actually was just awarded her grant from an application from January of 2024. So I'm asking the commission if you would look into that. It's great that we have these programs, but if people don't have access to it, in addition to that, lastly, is I couldn't find a more recent report, but I did look at the report from 2022 to 2023, where there was money allocated for the housing rehabilitation. Not all of it was used, and the money was reallocated to infrastructure in the city. So obviously, when the commission is voting for these things to go for rehabilitation grants, they should stay in that program and possibly roll over to the next year because there is a big need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. I know I saw a city email on this, Mr. City Manager. I thought that issue was answered. If you could have someone from staff talk to Ms. Johnston, since she's here, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, Jonathan, we'll get with her on that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the commission chamber would like to speak? Come on down.
Hi, I'm Francis Couture, 600 Southwest Natura Boulevard, Apartment C, Deerfield Beach. Congratulations, everybody, on your wins and for those who have stayed steadfast, and thank you for doing that. My question is the pier area, but not so much the restaurant, but the pier itself. I also frequent the boardwalk and use it almost daily. And I've noticed over a long period of time, seems like over a year, that the construction project to redo this pier is enormously slow, cumbersome, or non-existent. Many times I see no more than 2 or 3 people working on this pier at the same time. At first, when they started working on the end of it, it seemed like it was going to be a short production. But then as they keep working on the entire structure, I'm wondering, why is it that over all this time, the most people I've ever seen working on that pier at any one time is 5 people? Is this company so small, or do we pay them so little that this is all they can afford? I just don't understand why we don't have a full crew get out there and do a job, or is it like a job that has no end date? And now I noticed on the opposite end, on the south side by the Embassy Suites, they've just ripped out a portion of the beach where they have exercise equipment. Every day I see people working on these exercise equipment. Many people over and over again are there daily, if not some just on the weekends. Sometimes their families are there on the weekends. Again, I'm there almost every other day. That's my walk once or twice a day. And why would they want to come, or who thought of the plan to rip this stuff out and now just leave it? The people that suffer from this are the people that want to use it the most. And it seems that there's no consideration given to the taxpayer who's paying for all this stuff. It's just like you rip it out. Now, how long will that take? Is there an end date to this project?
Thank you, Mr. Couture. I'm going to direct you right behind you to Mr. Warner. We had this question actually at our last commission meeting. He'd be happy to answer. Unfortunately, you're not the way that you're looking at it, there are explanations for it, but Mr. Warner would be happy to explain it to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Warner, could you make sure that you give it to Mr. Couture before he leaves this evening? Next, please.
Hello,
Good evening.
Jamie Nero, 608 Northeast Second Avenue, Deerfield. Of course, Deerfield. I just wanted to come up and say publicly in front of all of the other commissioners because they missed out on our Real Men Read, and wanted to thank the mayor and the vice mayor for coming. And I have a funny story that I just wanted to tell the mayor. One of the students, when you left the class,
Uh-oh.
said, wow, that man can read. So next time, can you just tell him, since he's from the city, bring us some city stuff. So I said, okay, I'll make sure I tell him. But anyway, most of the kids and all of the kids from Vice Mayor's class, they really enjoyed, and we wanted to say publicly, thank you. And my principal is not here tonight because she had family. And sorry. Whew. But anyway, I just wanted to publicly thank you. And next year, who's on board? I, and I. So we'll have everybody next year. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mrs. Nero. Appreciate the feedback. I can't speak for the vice mayor, but I'm sure we both had a great time at that event. The breakfast, as he mentioned, was to die for. Yes. And note to staff, make sure we have swag when we go see the kids next time. So anyone else in the commission chamber that would like to speak this evening? Seeing no one, we're going to close the public hearing. I know we said we'd take a break, but let's keep going. So Mr. City Attorney,
Sure.
if you could do. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you like Vice Mayor. Before we go, Vice Mayor Preston wants to speak. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. The lady that got up and spoke about the event that was in Pompano, I was there. One of the commissioners, Beverly Perkins, has an event, but this commission has already approved something like that. Maybe we need to tweak it a little bit, but we approved a community day. And that's basically what that was down there. And so with just a little work, we could have something that nice, because that's exactly what it was over there. And it was a very nice event for that neighborhood. But I just want everyone to know that the commission has approved this. We had a community day. We need to grow it, and we need to do some things with it. I've talked to the city manager about this, and it's something that he's amenable to doing. So I think it's something that that can happen in the city of Deerfield Beach. We have not forgotten about you, the residents, and giving your time to just come out and enjoy yourself with music. So I think that's a great idea.
Great, great comment, Vice Mayor. Thank you. Appreciate you adding that. Mr. City Attorney, if we could do, if you could do
Consent.
12 through 16, please.
Yeah, actually, the items 12 through 28 are currently on consent, but we can take the board
Let's just take
appointments
them in
first.
blocks of, let's just do
Sure,
the block
items 12 through 16.
please.
Items 12, you want me to read each one on the record, or you can vote on them as a slate since they're on consent? It's up to you.
Do you need to read all?
No. I usually say, items 12 through 16 are currently on consent, and then the commission can decide whether you want to pull them and then hear public comment on them.
Okay, 12 through 16 up for consideration. No lights. So Madam Clerk, is there anyone online that would like to speak? Is there anyone in the commission chamber that'd like to speak this evening? Seeing nobody, close public hearing on items 12 through 16.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve 12 through 16 by Commissioner Hudak,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Preston. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? None? The record, let the record show unanimous consent. Mr. City Manager, now if we could take the block of 17 through 28.
Yep. Consent, agreements and expenditure requests.
I'm sorry, I meant city attorney. I said city manager. I
problem.
apologize.
We know what you meant. 17 through 28 is currently on consent.
Any pulls
I-
by my colleagues?
Yes, I want
Want
to
to pull it or just discuss it, Commissioner?
I just want to make a comment.
So, okay, so we'll do that in the comments then. So no one wants to pull anyone for further discussion. So on 17 through, let me just do the public hearing, Commissioner, if that's okay first. Madam Clerk, is there anyone online that would like to speak on items 17 through 28? Is there anyone in the commission chamber that would like to speak on any items 17 through 28? Oh, Gwen Clark Reed wants to speak. State Representative, what number would you like to speak on?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I do not have the agenda right in front of me, but are these the appointments to various boards in the city?
No, we're past that.
You're past that. Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
That's all right.
You're welcome. And before we continue, any staff in the far back that has an iPad charger, I could use it. Don't everyone rush at once. 17 through 28, Commissioner Shenetsky, which item would you like to talk about?
First one I want to talk about is item 18.
Well, which items did you want to talk about?
All right, I want to
Just
talk
18
about,
or others?
no, 18, 21, and 25.
Okay, go ahead with 18.
Okay, with 18, this is to approve the
Thank
contract.
you, whoever put that on my arm.
For 18, this is to approve the contract with Creative Lawn Maintenance, which I think is fine, but I just want to point out Creative Lawn Maintenance is in Pompano Beach. And this is, for landscaping. I just want to encourage the Deerfield Beach companies that deal with landscaping to make sure they get involved in the bidding process as well, because it's great that this Pompano Beach company, is moving forward. That's great. But again, I want to encourage the Deerfield Beach company. I've seen at least half a dozen Deerfield Beach lawn landscaping companies that could definitely bid on this. So please, I'm encouraging them to come out there as well. Also, in terms of item 21, this is for pest control. The Orange Pest Control and Services is a Pompano Beach company. Again, I had done my research and I see again about a half a dozen Deerfield Beach companies that I encourage to bid as well, to go for it, because I would like Deerfield Beach businesses to do business for Deerfield Beach. So I'm just encouraging them as well. On item 25, this is a resolution for the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County. And I just want to say what a great job the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County is doing, as well as the Jim and Jan Moran Boys and Girls Club. They have some excellent programs that help our youth in Deerfield Beach. Golf, bowling, they have a swim academy, they have an art program. They also have an academic success leadership program. They also have a health and well-being program. And finally, they have a workforce readiness program. So I definitely support the great work that the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County is doing in Deerfield Beach.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Plout, which numbers would you like to speak on, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to speak in general about some of these items, just in a general sense, the amount of work that the city does to try to get an RFP out there, request for proposal, and the responses. I had the time to look at a lot of these, and I do believe that in particular, the pest control company, I believe that they were just about the only bidder. What the city goes through, for example, they put this RFP in the Sun Sentinel, okay? And then they take that article and they mail it to over 100 pest control companies. And one pest control company comes forward, right? Am I right about this item?
Control. On the one that was not showing the pest control, on the other one, there was only one.
Yeah, not to particularly step on your point, because I get that, okay? But the reality is I was shocked to see how many companies actually come forward and go through an RFP. And if they're accepted, before they're even accepted, they're vetted in several different ways. You see the pages and pages of the licenses and the referrals and everything else that goes on. And then after they're accepted, then pages and pages and pages of agreements that go back and forth, and the insurance that have to be supplied and everything else. And, you know, when I think about a pest control company, I think about a very small company. It might be a one-man show or something like that. And this particular, this company that responded would now be responsible for 49 different facilities, some of them entire buildings like the city hall, some of them just a bathroom on the beach, but 49 different places that have to be treated once a month. My spidey sense tells me that maybe they're probably one of the few companies that can actually do that. And when I ran an inspection company and I saw what my company had to do the RFP with the state of Florida to do wind mitigation inspections, it was a massive and expensive thing to try to get a contract like that. So I do have to tip my hat to the city, because if you go through like over 100 pages of some of these items here, where we're even just trying to find somebody to come out, and you can try to give them the business and they don't come forward. So it is a challenge in that respect. And then when you do get somebody, what you have to do to vet them is incredible. So I don't think that we can, you know, expect that it's always going to be somebody here in Deerfield, just the way we vetted a city manager and they were from all over the country. Is what I'm saying. Okay, so that's my point. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. No further lights. Is there a motion on items
Motion
17
to
through
approve.
28?
17 through
Approved by
28.
Commissioner Hudak,
Seconded.
seconded by Commissioner Shinesky. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Plout,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinesky,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Drosky.
Yes. That brings us to item 29, City Attorney.
Item 29 is a presentation regarding improvements being made to Northeast 3rd Avenue and a portion of BSO parking lot.
Is there a presentation, City Manager?
Yes. Eric will be coming down now.
Good evening, Eric Poward, Director of Planning and Development Services, and tonight the Interim Director for Environmental Services, here to give you a presentation on Northeast 3rd Avenue. So hopefully some of you drove in today and noticed that Eller is now open. The intersection that has been closed for a few months is now open as of about 4:30 this afternoon. And we are in the process of completing the final asphalt of the area that surrounds City Hall. And as a reminder to what we were doing and why we're doing this, is that this is part of a grander project for drainage for the Pioneer Grove district, that the way in which we can build density in Pioneer Grove and to allow buildings to essentially touch each other to create that type of urban feel and environment is to create additional drainage. That drainage starts with a new outfall canal that goes out into the Hillsborough River. There's been a new retention area that's been created behind the tennis center, and that drainage, of course, has to go underneath Eller, and we'll go all the way down to 10th Street eventually, but we have to start at the outfall and work our way backwards. And so what you've seen today over these last few months is essentially ripping up the road to install the drainage that will eventually lead for the improvements of what will be Pioneer Grove. What we'd like to talk to you about tonight is an opportunity, while we still have the contractor, to do an improvement to 3rd Avenue that has actually been discussed now for several years and is a part of one of the capital projects that we were going to bring forward to you in our next year's budget. And it was decided that we should try to take an opportunity with the contractor we currently have and see if we can move forward with this opportunity instead of having to, do the work that we're talking about doing, stopping it, moving forward with an approval for a budget item in next year's budget, going back forward and hiring another contractor, and then starting that process again. And what it comes down to is we are essentially making a request to make Third Avenue a northbound one-way street. And I'm going to go through with you tonight all the different components of this improvement, but just for orientation purposes, this is the road that is just east of us, that is between the BSO Sheriff's Office and City Hall. What this will do is it will not only improve the traffic flow for the area, but it will increase the amount of parking that we currently have. I'm sure many of you are aware, City Hall is underparked. We do not have a sufficient amount of parking for large events. We just saw it happen to us today at 7 o'clock. If you had walked out in the parking lot with all the people who were here, you would have seen that there is no available parking. This, of course, happens. We have other items that happen with the city, whether it's a code compliance meeting or other events that happen at City Hall. We are short on parking. So I'm going to go through slide by slide here and just kind of explain what the proposal is. First would be we'd have a new sidewalk connection that would occur from Eller south leading to City Hall. And then you'll see some angle parking spaces just to the right of that new sidewalk. The next would be the majority of the angle parking spaces. So you'll see that we have in that one-way street, it'd be very similar to the angle parking spaces that we currently have in the City Hall parking lot. The next improvement would be ensuring that we have a parallel parking area for BSO. So BSO likes to park with their vehicles facing northbound along this roadway for their emergency response. You know, something happens and all the officers need to move as quickly as possible. This is where they're parking so they can get out onto the road, and they want to be northbound facing Eller so they can go in either direction. So we would making sure that we provide for them and all of those in the capacity that they currently need. And then what we would be doing is actually taking a piece of the BSO back lot and refencing it, and then taking, if you're not familiar, but right behind this area, there's actually another City Hall lot that we use for some of our overflow storage of tractors and trailers and city vehicles and things like that. So we would be sort of swapping this area. We'd be refencing this area to allow this portion to be here for public overflow parking. And then we would be refencing the backyard for the BSO. So they're not losing space essentially, and we're gaining some additional overflow parking. So you can see here where it says new chain link fence, just to the right of that, that's actually a City Hall parking lot. Most people don't know it's there. We just park some of our overflow vehicles and tractors and things like that back there. A lot of those were happening during some of our construction with the BAMC project and Center for Active Aging. So a lot of the things you might even see in this aerial aren't even there anymore. They've already been moved back to their other buildings. But we would refence this area so there would be a continuous flow for BSO's back lot. That square there is a landscape island that would be removed, so they would have the flow to the backyard, and then it would be safe for them to not have anyone going through their area. So let's talk the real business, right? Cost estimate. So tonight is just a presentation, is not the change order request. We wanted to come to you for the commission to hear any comments or feedback about this proposed idea. We were bringing this idea forward to you as part of a capital project for next year. So if approved, we'll remove that item. So think of that as a cost savings, right? But we are in the process right now of determining what the exact cost would be. Again, this is an estimate. We believe it'd be somewhere in this number. And we are also in the process of dealing with the final cost estimate of the contractor and the engineer. And during that process, we actually believe we'll be getting a little bit of money back from the total project. So this number for the change order may be this number, but in reality, it'll be less because we're receiving some dollars back from the contract. And with that, I think that was all the slides. If any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Power. I saw Commissioner Shinetsky's light first.
It's all right. Well, I'm definitely in favor of road improvements. I mean, I had to, somebody took my parking space and I had to park all the way near Federal Highway. So I'm definitely in favor of that. But I just really, and I had to jog here. So
You didn't take freebie?
it's a free, I didn't take freebie. I'm sorry. I just want to point out, I mean, again, I'm in favor of road improvements, but I feel that again, and this was brought up about last year by one of the commission members. He said it's like putting a Band-Aid on a leg that needs to be amputated. Basically, we need a whole new government facility. It's like running at an Olympic event with old Chuck Taylor Converse sneakers. It doesn't fly. Sneakers are nice, but they're not for an Olympic event. So I think we definitely need to look to make a new city hall. Our sister cities have beautiful government facilities that people come to. There's enough room. I just went to the one in Coconut Creek. Beautiful facilities. I think Deerfield Beach, especially as we're getting more and more people, deserve that. And in terms of the Broward District Sheriff headquarters right adjacent, that building's obsolete. That building was built in the 1920s. So that building should really be condemned. I think our police officers deserve the best headquarters, the best facilities. Their Broward headquarters it's a whole new facility, state of the art. I was speaking to a police officer that went there. They said, wow, it's like 22nd century. So I think we deserve the best. We should start planning towards a new city hall facility, a new government facility, and also a new Broward Sheriff's Office district facility. I think our officials deserve it.
Thank you, Commissioner. So it is a presentation. We're looking to give staff feedback. So would you, I heard two things from you. So would you be in favor of this cost or not?
Sure.
You don't have to commit tonight,
No,
but
I'm
I
in
think
favor
I
of
think
the-
they're looking for the
I am in
feedback.
favor of the costs. I just want to say, please just start thinking down the road, the immediate future, the bigger plan. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hudak, I believe, is next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So one of the reasons we wanted to go forward with this was because of the potential cost savings of bringing the vendor back, or a new vendor, in order to do this, because we've planned for that. Do we have any idea what the cost savings would be? I know this is an estimated cost. What was the original cost?
No, we don't have an original cost. This was an item that we'd be bringing for you for this next year's capital improvement budget, and we were considering north of $200,000. To be honest, we can't really predict costs anymore based on what may be happening with the trades and the tariffs. But we were bringing an item to you that's probably gonna be north of 200,000.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vice Mayor. Commissioner, I was acknowledging Hudak and then you.
You know, I was gonna address exactly what my colleague addressed and exactly what you said, that whatever this cost is, it's conservative. It's just with the way the environment is that you have to look farther than what's on paper. So, yeah, I don't think that we are even close here, so.
I'll jump in. Is this, if you know, I think I heard you at the very end say this is for the capital improvements for next year, next calendar year, or next fiscal?
This next fiscal year, we were proposing this improvement in our next year, so you haven't seen it yet. So essentially, we'd be removing it is what I was getting to, because we were gonna request this in our next year's budget.
Okay. I'm on the fence too. I see everybody's comments. I mean, yes, throwing more money into money that could have been going on to improving City Hall. But also I see the need from a public safety standpoint, and also to add more parking to City Hall. Tonight is the perfect example. Code enforcement or code compliance meetings are other examples. So I look forward. The devil's always in the details. So I look forward to the details. Commissioner Hudak?
I just want to say that I think this is definitely something I would support doing now rather than later. A, for the cost savings. B, it's going to take years. When I first got into office, there were plans to create a new city hall, and then those funds got diverted. So I know that we're looking for this. We've already got plans in place in order to create a new city hall, but I won't be here. Commissioner Preston won't be here. It'll probably be your second term as mayor before everything ever happens. So I think, in order to expedite whatever possible improvements we can now, as opposed to waiting for 6 years, I would definitely be in support of.
Okay, well taken, Commissioner. Yes, sir.
If I might,
Yes, Manager.
also just to consider for the dais that the project is not a huge project to an outside vendor. So trying to get somebody on board for a small project could be something very difficult and can also incur a greater cost because they're looking at a smaller project. At this point, what we would be looking at is expanding what we're doing. That would also be another cost-saving factor that we would realize in extending this project during this fiscal year instead of the next fiscal year.
One of the things that we've been really considering is how do we bundle projects in order to incentivize, contractors to come. I mean, Commissioner Chesky sort of alluded to it and Commissioner Platt alluded to it, like sometimes it's very difficult to get contractors to come to the city based on the dollar amount it is. So like bundling projects is the way that we have to do that now. We wouldn't have to worry about that if we move forward with this.
No, that's a valid point too. Thank you. This is a presentation, so there's no action item tonight. So thank you. I
Right, thank
appreciate
you.
it. We go to comments by administration and legal.
I have two comments tonight. The first one is that you're coming down to the home stretch in Tallahassee for the Florida legislature. So you got about a week and a half left in the regular session, and just wanted to give you an update on some of the bills we've been tracking that you may want to contact your legislatures and or your lobbyist on. The first one is House Bill 301. That's with respect to the sovereign immunity caps that are provided to local governments, such as the city of Deerfield Beach. If it's approved in its current form, those caps would be increased and would likely increase the expenditures of the city on personal injury and tort-related claims against the city. The second one is House Bill 991. This is with respect to CRAs. One of the provisions in the House bill would prohibit new projects after October 1 of 2025 in CRAs. The Senate version does not have that prohibition with respect to new projects, so that may be something you want to contact the legislature about, as well as House Bill 943 and the companion Senate bill, which is another modification to the Live Local Act, including requiring cities to provide for a 20% parking reduction in its current form. Keep in mind, these things do get amended, including a full, I believe, amendment in the Senate that was submitted today. We were also tracking Senate Bill 954 with respect to recovery residences and where recovery residents can go within cities. But the preemption that was previously in the bill has been removed. That would have preempted local government regulation. Happy to answer or speak with you separately on that if you have any questions about any of those particular bills. And my second comment is related to a comment that was made during public comment tonight, referencing an article in the Pelican. I don't know where that information came from with respect to the lease amendment, but it's not reflective of anything that I've been working on. I certainly haven't spoken with the Pelican, and my understanding is the city manager has not either. When that lease amendment is prepared to be brought before you, it'll be brought before you in the public setting for a vote and public comment. And those are my two comments tonight.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. City Manager, do you have anything this evening?
Just two quick things. One is in the back of the room, if Sean could stand up. Sean Galido just started as the Director for Public Safety. We did a very quick recruitment. Once I was appointed permanent city manager, we could now then open that position. So I'm very proud to have him. He comes with 30 years of experience. And he just recently working in the Carolinas and in school district, and we're very happy to have him. He's on day 2. He has met some of you. He's met a couple of you, but he'll introduce himself, and you'll get to know him a little bit more as he gets acclimated. But I'm very thankful to our Human Resources Department to do a very quick recruitment for that, national recruitment for that, and we're very happy with him. The second thing is, I want the public to realize that the school zone cameras have been through some permitting issues, but we do have them active, and they are in a preliminary warning period, and they're going to go through a formal warning period. So you may see notices about speeding in those school zones coming to your homes or your businesses. Take note of that, because as that comes online and we finish our public campaign of notifications, then it will become real. So start slowing down now is the message, and stay slowing down, and don't be speeding through the school zones to save our kids. As I mentioned almost a year ago, we're looking for somewhere upwards of a 90 to 95% reduction in the speeding in those zones. And I hope that we realize that it's going to take the whole community effort. And as the city attorney cautioned in a different way, if the city is not posting it on our social media, I would be wary of what you read on social media. It's not all true.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager.
You're now at comments by mayor and city commission.
Let's start with District 1, please. Commissioner Hudak?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The school zone, cameras, are we going to have updated postings at these intersections notifying the public, hey, that there are cameras now active and, they will be monitoring your speed?
There are signs right now.
I'll have to look better then. But I'm glad there are signs
There
up
are
now.
signs.
Okay. That was really the only comments that I really had this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. District 3, Commissioner Schnetsky?
District 3 is thriving. In the community of Century Village, I want to make the announcement that the main gate, the construction of the new main gate was approved by the city, and they're going to be breaking ground in mid-May. But I just want to say I'm very, very proud because safety was not compromised. This gate is being done right. The staff that will be manning the gate, they're going to be safe. All the regulations were met. It may have took some time, but again, the most important thing was the safety and that it's done right, and that'll hopefully last another 50 years or even longer. And I want to give kudos to our staff in Deerfield Beach. They did a great job. It was a 3-year project, but it finally got approved. Eric Powers, Chris from Planning and Zoning, the mayor, he was very supportive, and former Commissioner Bernie Parnes. I want to give them kudos. And I also want to give kudos to Century Village, their staff, Dennis Burrito, Joe Cummings was a big advocate, Eli Oakham, and Val Smirkin. So I want to say thank you very much to them. It was a team project, and this is going to be great for Century Village, the main gate. In terms of Hillsborough Boulevard, and I had brought up last time that they're building a wall. Century Village is building a wall, which will provide a lot of noise protection, because before there was just a chain link fence. Now this wall will provide protection against noise and also security. A lot of times people could climb over that chain link fence. I've seen it. Now with the wall, it'll be a lot more difficult, so a lot more safe. So I'm very proud of that. In terms of the code violation amnesty program, what I've been doing is on April 24th at Master Management Century Village, I invited Roy, the Director of Code, and he's going to be talking about the code violation, because in Century Village, there are 27 associations. There are 253 buildings. Unfortunately, there are a lot of violations. So this amnesty program could help them. So Roy will be there on the 24th. Thank you very much. I also want to bring out that last October, they started in Century Village a Veterans Outreach Program, which was being administered by the Veterans Administration. They've been coming to Century Village. There are a lot of veterans in Century Village that have PTSD. They need group therapy. And this Veterans Administration Outreach Program has satisfied and helped these veterans. And they're also being staffed also by State Representative Mitch Rosenwald's office and also Congressman Moskowitz's office. They've been going there to try to help veterans, not only with group therapy, but any outreach that they need. In terms of Crystal Lake, I've been working with Crystal Lake HOA. There's been a problem with the cemetery, which is adjacent to Crystal Lake townhouses. There's a barrier that they had an agreement that the barrier would be maintained of bushes and trees so that the residents can't see into the cemetery, because you could imagine how distressing that is. And the cemetery hasn't been holding up their end of the bargain. So I had code enforcement go out there, and they're fining the cemetery association, and they're going to have to go before the magistrate. So we're hitting them in the wallet. So I also had code enforcement go out to Crystal Lake, any code enforcement issues in terms of housing, things like that. They addressed it. They took a tour with the director of Crystal Lake HOA. So I had them go out there. In terms of on Northwest 11th Street, there've been some traffic problems, a lot of speeding. So I've been working with Adam, the BSO chief, and he had some of his officers go out there to address what could be done to make it more safe on Northwest 11th Avenue in Crystal Lake. Also, several weeks ago, Crystal Lake had a flea market. You know, a lot of residents that would come into the recreation center. And again, I had the code enforcement chief come out there and he brought his staff and talking about the code amnesty program. So they'll be aware of that. So I'm trying to market it to both Century Village and Crystal Lake as well. On Monday, April 28th, there's going to be a town hall at Crystal Lake HOA Rec Center concerning the new stormwater project, which will be on 45th Drive and Crystal Lake Drive. I'm sorry, 45th Avenue and Crystal Lake Drive. It's going to be a year project, but this town hall, this way, the residents of Crystal Lake will be able to know what's going on when the construction starts. My other big community is Meadows at Crystal Lake. The big issue there is the traffic when they're coming out of the entrance on Military. It's a lot of traffic. So for a month, there was actually a traffic safety island. And again, BSO Chief Adam Hofstein, he put that sort of gave a little caution, slowed it down a little bit, but it's on a rotating basis, that traffic island. So it's going to other communities in Deerfield Beach. So basically, Adam gave me this suggestion and I brought it to the community of Meadows at Crystal Lake. It's a private community. They could actually purchase their own traffic safety device. And Adam said that BSO would help maintain it and monitor it. So very excited about that. Probably I'll get feedback on that in September. I also want to say I took a tour of our Deerfield Beach lifeguard towers with Chief Lifeguard Mike Brown. He's in charge of the Deerfield Beach Ocean Rescue. He's a chief. I took the tour on April 12th as the sun was coming up. And I'm just very, very impressed with both the staff of the Deerfield Beach Ocean Rescue and also the lifeguard towers. It was an excellent investment. There are 10 new lifeguard towers. Now, the last towers were built in 1997, almost 30 years ago. And Chief Brown was saying that during the last 3 years, there were constant work orders. The floorboards were coming apart. They were being rained on. It was time to make these new lifeguard towers. And our sister municipalities have all got new lifeguard towers. So this was well needed. And I want to point out that our ocean rescue for Deerfield Beach is very, very elite. In the last 3 years, they have won the U.S. Life Saving Association Championship 3 years in a row. And this is going against about 1,000 other competitive teams. So we have a very elite squad. Next year, it's going to be in Fort Lauderdale, the championship. So his staff has a total of 6 supervisors and 50 employees. And he said, Mike Brown, he said, last year, there were 40,000 actions on the beach, running from, a dog running on the grass to somebody, drowning, potentially drowning. So 40,000 actions. These lifeguard staff, they're on call 365 days a year with a 10-hour shift. They just started a 10-hour shift. So they deserve the best facilities. That's why I'm very impressed with the lifeguard towers. Before the lifeguard towers, they had 4 posts, so there was obstructed views. Now it's a 270-degree angle that they could see almost 270 degrees. The glass is hurricane-proof tint glass, and they have a storage unit that could hold a 4-wheeler as well as all emergency equipment. So it was definitely well needed. And I just want to point out one thing that Mike Brown told me that really hit home. He said that he started 30 years ago. He said 30 years ago, there was about 1 million people coming to Deerfield Beach using the beach facilities. Now there are almost 4 million people. So again, our staff, and they deserve the best equipment. So I'm very happy with that. And finally, I just want to bring up one thing. One of my constituents came to me today and said, I went to the recycling plant on 3rd Avenue and they wanted to get bottles and they said they stopped, no more glass. And I inquired and I found out that it's been over a year filtering out and they stopped it about 2 weeks ago. And the reason why is because glass has no market and it costs money to recycle glass. And plus glass contaminates the other recyclables. So I just wanted to make it aware, no more glass. And again, thank you very much. And I just want to say one final shout out, and this is most special to me. I want to say happy birthday to my dear mother, Doris Shanetsky, happy 98th anniversary of your birth. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. District 4, Commissioner Plow.
Thank you, Mayor. I love all the things that the city is doing. I love meeting you at 8 o'clock this morning for the ribbon cutting at the Deer Run Animal
us.
Hospital. It's always great to be there. It turned out to be one heck of an event. I was blown away how many people showed up there. I would say probably at least 25 people. A lot of people got there late. Several businesses in the area came by. We had somebody from the federal government, from the financial services area of the federal government. I spent some time talking with him and asked him what he does, and basically if somebody feels that they've been wronged by an insurance company with regards to their homeowner's insurance or liability or anything, and they haven't got any mediation out of it, that call the federal government, and he's the guy to call. So I wasn't even aware that we had that kind of an outreach. I'm probably make copies of this guy's card. Also, Chamber of Commerce was there. The people that the doctor's whole family was there. I feel that she became a doctor in 2012, and really is committed to the area. I own 2 dogs, so I'm glad that there's the Deer Run Animal Hospital is there, and the people are very faithful. They want to hire some other people to work there in the area. They might hire some people on a part-time basis. I worked for a veterinarian one time when I was in school, and you hold the dogs and all that other kind of stuff. It's a good experience for a young person, and so they're hiring right now. That's always good to know. Also, I look at my position as what is going on in the entire city. I enjoyed the meeting last night that just about everyone was at. Everyone was at it. For the Dixie Highway corridor. Very important that we get some things going there. Last Thursday night, the mayor and I were at the Broward League of Cities, and we watched scholarships being given out, just like tonight. There were 4 people that got scholarships of $2,000 apiece that had 4.0 GPAs, as well as one person had, I think, 600 community service hours. Most of them had 200 to 300. Just really excited to get to meet other commissioners and other officials in the city. I did not realize how many planners and attorneys go to these things. I got home, I must have an inch thick thing of cards from all the places that I've gone. And I was like, oh boy, I wonder who I met today. I wonder how many commissioners. And I bring out all these cards, land planner, attorney, so they're down there to drum up business, but it is good to know who's out there to give these kind of services. And I'm enjoying every day of this. I'm totally committed. I liked your presentation because you're out there with your people in your district, so anyway, I appreciate talking with everybody. And you know what? We have Officer Keith Porter, who tonight is part of the agenda, was put on our planning and zoning board. And he was at the animal hospital this morning. I said, what are you running for commissioner? And, he wants to get involved. So I'm seeing an uptick in people of all types that want to get involved in this city. I think the fact that we have a Centennial has been exciting people too, because now we kind of have a legacy. And I'm trying to be as excited about everything, life and the city and what we got going on. And people feed off of that kind of energy. We all need to be like that. So thank you very much for this opportunity. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor Preston, District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say, along with the mayor, I attended the Real Men Read, and it was awesome to watch those kids be involved and to answer their questions. It was quite special. So I, urge anytime that you can do that. Sometimes it's not permitting because of schedule, but it's a worthwhile event. Real Men Read. The Bernard Adams complex was open and it was a success. It was a very, very nice thing to see that. And the family was very happy. It was a good turnout for that, something that everybody in the city should be happy about. I want to say that Commissioner Shinesky's point about encouraging business in the city of Deerfield Beach is important. That really is. And we need to get people in our city, competing for these positions, and these procurement needs to definitely be a part of the process of getting them involved so we can employ people from this city. It's a great idea. And so I definitely agree with that. As Commissioner Plout said about the Dixie project, the workshop was awesome. It was awesome to see the participation from the elected officials. And that also was a big turnout. And I'm going to say that, there's a lot for us to be positive about in our city. There's a lot. And I'm going to just tell you what I'm going to talk about now is something that can get past you real easy unless you know this experience. Our staff is awesome. I mean, they are unbelievable. I had a meeting with the 1045 project, I'm sure as all the commissioners did, but it took me a while to get on. It was all kind of difficulty. And I want to just tell you, Andrea Henry, I mean, she was determined to get me on that meeting and get me in that meeting and to make sure that that happened. I mean, way above what any secretary would do. So I'm going to tell you, Andrea Henry she does a great job. So does Danielle Robinson. And they just do their job. They don't look for any accolades. And then we don't have to look too much further than to my right to know that our city clerk, I have called that office asking different questions, trying to get some information about different things. And our city clerk is right on top of it. She's outstanding. Her crew is doing a good job. And these are things that unless they're mentioned, we just take it for granted. So there's a lot of special people in our city as far as staff is concerned that do an outstanding job. I just got a new telephone. I had all kinds of issues with this one, but I'm going to tell you, the gentleman in the back, Robert, was right there helping me through it. Just and actually I got a new computer as well. And they just do their job. And I'm thankful that we got these kinds of people working for us. It's just incredible. I'm just really happy about that. And then lastly, there are some people been calling me about the pre-farm. So I'm going to say to the parks director, you're going to be getting some calls perhaps. And I know there was a conflict about the date, but I'm totally for this. The pre-prom is something that was a part of this community, and any way that we can help them. These are kids that this is a single event, and it means a lot. So if you have any issues with anybody that calls, please call me. Let me know whatever the concerns may be, so that we can work them out through the city manager's office, if need be. Okay. Mr. Park Director. Okay. Thank you. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm up next. I just want to thank the public and staff, and importantly, my colleagues up here as I grow into this roll. It's very different in the middle than it is on the side. So, and tonight was a very challenging agenda with just the number of items and the number of people. And to kind of manage that and keep your head in the game with respect to the various items, it's not as easy as it may appear. So I appreciate everybody's patience as I continue with this. I think we're doing great as a commission so far, but I just want to thank everyone for their patience as we go along with this. The two substantive items that I have tonight are one, this Saturday is the annual Sip and Stroll. So I hope all my colleagues are able, that your agendas permit, that you're able to come this Saturday evening. And Mr. Warner, I believe it's a sellout. Is that correct? So yes, so if you're looking for tickets, you're gonna have to go to StubHub because the city is sold out. And last but not least, I want to point out that it was reported in the Pelican that after if there was any other doubt if what we did on the dunes was correct or not, it was reported in the Pelican shortly after the city approved our dune management plan that the city of Pompano approved their dune management plan as well. So this is something that is obviously catching on up and down the coast. Deerfield Beach is not an outlier in this, and I believe the science is taking precedent in all of this. So if the cities do this together, we have a more resilient coastline with these storms going forward. So I'm glad to see that not only that we did it, but if there was any validation to it, Pompano did it shortly after we did as well. And that's all that I have for this evening. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, May 6th. Looking for a motion to close.
Mayor, before you close, I got a question for you about the sip and stroll.
Yes, sir.
I heard that the more sipping you do, the less strolling you do. Is that true? I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? Good. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.